Ball team. What we understand is they're very well coached. I know they look like football players, and whenever football players show up to the stadium, you got to put your uniform on and play. It's a trap game for us because it's homecoming. Homecoming's always a tough game.
Key players in this game for Northern Colorado is Vincent Jackson, their wide receiver, just named to the Walter Payton watch list, the list which picks the best player in Division I AA. Would the weather slow down a guy like this tonight?
Well, it's going to slow him down. It's really more his quarterback if he can get the ball to him. Receivers normally got a little bit of an advantage because he knows where he's going. So, you know, it's the key is for us to keep him in front of us. Don't let him get behind us and stop him that way, because if he gets loose and he catches a football, he's dangerous.
Well, if the Bears can keep the football dry, and you hear a lot of Christensen to Jackson tonight, that's not good news. If you hear a lot of incomplete, that's good news for the defense and good news for Southeastern fans. And, of course, on the other side of the coin is the fact that Martin Hankins has to play in this weather, too, also named to the Walter Payton watch list and is in the running for the best player in Division I AA.
Well, you know, and he's our favorite, so the key is exchange, center to quarterback, good footing. Of course, cleats are a big thing in this game. Not a lot of water on the field, but, you know, if you don't pick the right shoe, you can have a problem. But I think we're going to be okay, and I think it'll be a good game to watch.
Team with the least turnovers might be the winner of this game. Let's take a break. We'll go up to the booth and be back with the opening kickoff right after this. Again, our pregame show was brought to you by South Point Volkswagen on Airline Highway in Baton Rouge.
Motion all-wheel drive, hill descent assist, a GPS navigation system, 4-corner adjustable air suspension, a 310 horsepower V8 engine. Yep, our Touareg already comes available with all sorts of hardware, and we just added some more. The Volkswagen Touareg, Motor Trend Sport Utility of 2004.
There for your family. We understand. Your State Farm agent is there with life insurance options to help you protect your family's financial future. For life insurance, call your State Farm agent today.
In Ponchatoula, see your good neighbor, State Farm agent Patty Hubert, for your insurance needs.
In Tangipahoa Parish, one picture is worth 1,000 words. Tangipahoa Parish, we have it all. Come see us soon.
Welcome back to Strawberry Stadium here on the campus of Southeastern Louisiana. The rain is still coming down here and probably will throughout this ball game. They have had the toss of the coin at midfield. Southeastern will receive to start things today. The officials are from the Southland Conference. The referee is Jim Kratz. The umpire, Rico Arso. The linesman, Bradford Edwards. The line judge, Rick Hoover. The side judge, Mark Ashley. The field judge is Jay Taylor. And the back judge is Terry Jones. The officials standing right at midfield on the Southeastern logo as the Lions take the field. Charlie Hebert, former Southeastern quarterback. You're looking at a high-powered Southeastern offense called the air raid offense of Coach Hal Mumme. You're looking at a quarterback in Martin Hankins who loves to throw the football, and you're looking at weather that's making this a running game, taking the passing game out of the offense.
Well, you know, we hope it doesn't take the passing game out. In a lot of cases, we're going to throw the ball till we can't throw it anymore, and you know that's our offense is predicated around that. So hopefully the weather doesn't affect us. Some quarterbacks it does, some it doesn't. I've seen a lot of Dan Marino could throw it, so you know, in the rain. So we'll see what happens.
Let's take a look at the offensive starters for the Southeastern Lions tonight. As you see the Lions huddled up, getting ready to go out there. Kennard White, Johnny Flowers, Jared Mason still starting at center in place of the injured Donald Ussery. Pye Carter over at the right guard, and Calvin Greenwood. He was the newcomer to the line this year. And the running back Ray Perkins needs 81 yards to cross the 1,000-yard mark here in his Southeastern career. Hutch Gonzalez, the sure-handed man. Josh Taylor, Jeffrey Howard, and Felton Huggins. And then, of course, the quarterback is Martin Hankins from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and we'll talk a little bit more about him in just a little while. Now, with the rain coming down, our television booth looks more like a windshield of an automobile. Almost looks like the camera that you just saw with water all over it. So the type of return Southeastern does with that fancy Texas handoff and who's got it razzle dazzle, we may not know who's got the ball, but it'll be fun as we get started. We'll go over the defensive starters in just a moment.
Well, what we're looking for here is a good return. Try to get field position in our favor to start the game, Ken, and field position is going to be a big thing when you got bad weather.
Justin Zeitz will squib it. It'll come down to Mario Gilbert, and he will return it for a few yards past the 35-yard line and up to the 37-yard line. And that's where the offense for Southeastern will put the ball into play.
Well, that's what we're looking for. We got good field position. If we can maintain a drive here and at least get the ball on the other side of the 50 and keep that field position during the game, that's going to be a big plus for us tonight.
This is the no-huddle offense. Martin Hankins right now second in total offense in the nation in 1AA ball. Can he keep that ball dry? Can he keep it from slipping out of his hand tonight as he tries to get this offense rolling? On first down, first snap over his head. He'll have to run it down. Not too much of a rush coming, but he can't pick the ball up, and the weather has its effect on the first play, moving the ball all the way back to the 16-yard line.
Well, that's what we were talking about. Bad plays, getting the snap from the center to the quarterback, and of course we couldn't have started it any worse than we just did. So hopefully we can get that fixed and get some field position back, because we just gave up the field position we had.
Now, the weather is going to be a factor in this game and could be the key to the game. Who will turn it over the fewer number of times? That makes it second down and forever. And the end around to Keelan Davis has a little bit of room on the left side and gets some of the lost yardage back, but not back to the original line of scrimmage. Let's set the defense for the Northern Colorado Bears. They use a 4-3-4. Jason McMillan at the defensive end on the left side. Jacob Carlson, the defensive tackle. The nose guard is Jared Wallen, and the defensive end on the right side is Jeff Splitzer. The linebackers are Wade Sumter, Ryan Palmer, and Thomas Smith. And the defensive backs are Greg Gebhardt, Charles Barrett, Reed Doherty, and Darcy Shaw. Reed Doherty, a top guy to throw against. You'll see him as number 6. And the pass, it looks like Hankins had trouble with the wet football, goes incomplete and down into the turf, and the Lions will have to kick it away.
Well, you know, hopefully we can get a good snap on the punt and get the ball out of there. He had a little pressure on him, so and pressure is going to be a big thing tonight on both sides of the ball. The defenses, I'm sure, are going to lay their ears back, so we're going to see what happens. This is an important play for both teams right here to maintain field position.
Jim Hall, averaging 39 yards a punt, stands at his own 15-yard line. The short man is the number 3 quarterback, Chase Holbrook. And he'll get a punt off that will get a little bit of a Southeastern bounce and roll past the Northern Colorado 40 and down to the 39-yard line, and that's where the Bears will put it into play to get things started. Let's take a look at the Bears offense. Their line will be Sean Forner at left tackle, Bradley Forbush at left guard, Matt Sens at center, Jacob Gable at right guard, and Stephen Bailey at right tackle. The receiver to watch is Vincent Jackson, Andre Wilson, a very good running back, and the quarterback, Tony Christensen. And they'll try it up the middle on first down for just a few.
Well, they're going to dive it up the middle. They're going to try to mix it up. It's going to be tough in the rain, but you know, you want to hold on to the football, and that was a good play to start the game with.
That was Andre Wilson, who's had 4, or career 100-plus yard games, one last week against UC Davis. Again, don't let the 1-4 record of this Northern Colorado team fool you. 3 of those 4 losses have come to teams ranked in the top 25. Second down and 8. They'll try Wilson again, testing the 3-4 defense of Coach Woody Woodenhofer. And nowhere to go. Matthew Joseph, Stephen Smith, the nose guard, and Derek Mincy at the right defensive end is the 3. The 4 linebackers are Put Huron, Marvin Jones, Ernest Wilkes, and Jay Skidmore. As we're looking at the Southeastern defense, you've got Charlie Hall, Duke Adams, Burke McGee, and Ramirez Mayo. There you see the defensive linemen, Matthew Joseph, Jonathan O'Connelly, and Derek Mincy. Put Huron, Marvin Jones, Ernest Wilkes, and Jay Skidmore, the backers. Here's third down 6. Christensen may try to do it himself. And he's close. He has the first down up to midfield.
Christensen on the keeper.
Good move that time by the quarterback.
Very good move. Yeah, you're looking at a team that is 1-4, but they're 51-7 at home over the last 10 years. So they got a pretty good program over there.
Now, this team won a few national championships in D2 and is currently in a 4-year process to move up from Division II to Division I AA. This is year 2 of their 4-year process, yes, to move up to 1 AA. Then they'll try running up the right side on first down. In this game, Coach Herb Patera, linebackers coach and Woody Woodenhofer's 3-4 defense, was telling me that the coaches were concerned that the weather was going to make this a running type football game, and Northern Colorado has some guys that can do it. Conley on the last stop for Southeastern.
Well, they're going to keep testing the center of that line. They're going to try to move field position into our territory. And
well, here's Tony Christensen. His back's in an eye. Pretty good passer. Under a little bit of rush. He's going for it all down the middle and overthrows his intended receiver, Jamar Forbes, the 6-foot senior from Aurora, Colorado.
Well, the rain didn't look like it affected his throw.
Well, Christensen's a junior, 6'2", 210 pounds, from Littleton, Colorado.
And they're going to test the center of the field. You know, they got.
He's got 23 career touchdowns, 5 touchdowns this year, but he has thrown 11 interceptions, and that's part of the reason for the 1-4 record of the Bears. Looking at third down 7 for Northern Colorado. Christensen, deep drop. Looking to the right side and overthrows his intended receiver there, Corey Sleep.
You got to figure he's going to go to Jackson shortly. The guy's got 32 catches in the last 3 ball games for 600 yards and 5 touchdowns. So be looking for that connection coming.
And the key is to try to get Jackson open.
Corner to put the football away for the Bears. Francis back deep for the Lions.
Chad Harder to punt it away for the Golden Bears. On fourth down 7, gets a good foot into it. It's short, but does get a bare bounce past the 15 and will be touchdown dead right at the 10-yard line. Didn't have a whole lot. Looked like he got some foot into that one, and it just didn't go anywhere with about 2.9 second hang time on it, but he got the golden bounce, and that's the important thing there. So it backs the Lions up, and we have no score in this ball game with 10:43 to play in the first quarter.
We want to be patient, Ken. Just be patient. Run the football, get it out of the get it in some type of good, decent field position, and then open it up.
Lions looked a little out of sync on that first series because of the weather. Hankins drops back to his own goal line and tries to throw to Perkins out of the backfield. Or pardon me, rather tries to show to Josh Taylor coming across the center.
And you see how he threw the football. It looked like he was throwing a shot put. You got to throw the ball just like you normally do. Just don't grip it quite as hard and let it roll off your hand. It's a tough thing to throw in the rain.
Spoken from an old quarterback who didn't like to play in the rain, right?
I never liked playing in the rain.
Hankins this time will give, and absolutely no going as Thomas Smith is there to put the stop on Ray Perkins. We're playing on sprint turf. Sprint turf looks a lot like the type of grass you put into an Easter basket, and it sits on 8 inches of rubberized sand and a bed of limestone underneath that. They've got thousands of drainage tubes. It's not a soaked field, but it is a wet sprint turf. So the turf will be a little slippery, but there shouldn't be puddles of water. This field drains fantastically, drains up to 3 to 4 inches an hour. Here's a big 3rd down 13. Hankins from his end zone throws complete but short of the first down.
And that's what we talking about, Ken. He stepped up, he stepped into the football and let it go like he normally does, and he got a good completion. We got us out of a hole for.
Well, Robbie Skates knew where the first down marker was, but Chris Gebhardt stopped him before he could get there, and that will bring on the punt team and punter Jim Hall. A yard short, a yard shy. 4th and 1. With the gambling Hal Mummy trying right here.
I was thinking the same thing.
He's been known to try him from almost anywhere. But 4th and 1 at your own 19, that's dangerous territory. So Hall puts his foot into it. And in the weather, will drive one way back. Bounces on the 34-yard line and gets a good Southeastern roll past the 25 and will be down to the 24-yard line. So a pretty good punt right there by Jim Hall. Backs the Golden Bears. Backs them up and deep in their own territory.
I'll tell you what, that was a beautiful punt in this weather. No return. You couldn't have scripted it any better than that.
Well, Tony Christensen under center to direct his Bears on 1st and 10 from their 24-yard line. Coach O.K. Dalton of the Golden Bears, 72 years old. He's been around a long time, 33-17 here at Northern Colorado in his 5th year. 10 years as a head coach overall, 66-31. Talking to Coach Herb Patera, assistant coach Herb Patera of the Lions in the press box right before the game. Coached against Coach O.K. Dalton in the Canadian Football League. Here's Wilson with a little bit of room on the right side. He is stood up and spilled by McGee.
He won't forget McGee, I can promise you.
It looked like he had a little head of steam, and then suddenly from nowhere, boom, Dirk McGee comes up and shuts the whole dead. 6'1", 195, a senior from Hammond, Louisiana. Last year, 2nd on this team in tackles with 88, and is not afraid to slap you. But still a 6-yard gain, hard earned, well paid for a 6-yard gain that time. 2nd down 4. Christensen with room to run. He drops the ball. He was hit, and Southeastern has it. Turnover's a big key.
With the recovery. 1st down.
They're putting the pressure on him, Ken. You make him step up, and he got blindsided, and the ball popped out. And of course,
Mincy had him, and Marvin Jones. Mincy put the lick on him, and Marvin Jones, strongest man on this defense for Southeastern with the recovery. And that gives the Lions just great field position and the first big break of this game.
Well, now we got to take advantage of it. Get it in the end zone quick.
Martin Hankins directs the offense from the 32-yard line of the Bears. Long count. He does a great job of looking over the offense, calling audibles, and the pass knocked down.
Of course, that was a great play by Northern Colorado. Got their hands up, knocked the ball down.
The Northern Colorado defensive line. Take a look at the knockdown here.
Now you're on a 3-step drop, and you know they've been taught well. They get their hands up and knock the ball down.
Jared Wallen, he's 6'3", and Splitzer's 6'3". Carlson 6'3". Matter of fact, McMillan 6'3". They're 6'3" right across the front. 2nd down 10. Toss right side to Tony Francis, but he'll fool no one on the left side and maybe lose a yard. Fights hard to try to get back to the line of scrimmage and no more.
Pass complete to Francis.
So that brings up an interesting 3rd down situation here for the Lions, Charlie Hebert.
Well, it does, and you know Gebhardt made a great tackle and a great play. He skated down the side, the line of scrimmage, and disrupted the play. So we'll see what we're going to come up with here.
Well, there was a flag down. And it was thrown, I believe, by the linesman on this side. Let's listen.
It's just it is a different song, and the song you're looking for, lady, old black lady. The song is the one you were looking for that you couldn't find. It's
Oh, that is referee Jim Kratz.
Well, we had a personal foul.
I'm not sure what he called, but he's marking it off against the lines, and this is going to move him back. And in a game like this, you can't afford to hurt yourself with penalties or turnovers.
The team that makes the least mistakes is going to come out on top in this type of game.
Well, Southeastern had the bad snap over Hankins' head on their first offensive series, lost a lot of yardage, didn't lose the football, but had to punt it away because of the tremendous loss on the play. And Northern Colorado fumbled to Southeastern, but the penalty moves the lines back to almost midfield. Now Hankins will work from the gun. In trouble, throws as he's hit, and it's intercepted. The Bears have it.
And we got another flag, too.
Another flag is thrown. Wade Sumter, that's his third interception of the year. 6'1", 225, a senior from Fowler, Colorado.
Bears football, penalty on the play.
But let's see what this penalty is all about.
Flowers makes the stop for the Southeastern offense.
It's hard to tell. It looked like the flag came after the play, you know, after the play was in motion, after the interception.
Well, Hankins took a pretty good, it looked like they were coming.
Ultimately, the field position is going to make a difference who wins this ball game. If they can hold on to the football, they're keeping it out of Southeastern's hands.
Second down 4. And this time the line defense waiting for Wilson, nowhere to go. Wilkes led the charge. Ernest Wilkes, 5'11", the senior from Solomon High School in Slidell.
Third down.
You know, one thing on defense for Southeastern, they do have pretty good speed on the end. So, you know, running sideline to sideline is not going to be a thing that I would think Northern Colorado could bank on.
Yeah, this is a big third down play right here for the Lions, because the first down puts the Bears in line territory and moving and eating some clock. We're down to 5 minutes, 45 seconds to play in the first quarter. Christensen under center will give Wilson trying the middle, nowhere. The 3-4 closes him down, and that'll bring up a punting situation for the Bears.
Stop by Joseph for the Lions. Fourth down.
They run a straight dive up the middle, but I tell you what, Conley come up and made a beautiful tackle in the backfield.
Back deep for the Lions.
And Joseph, so, you know, we shut it down and we got good field position if we get a decent punt return out of this.
Well, Harder will stand back at his 35, picks up a low snap rather, and has to rush the punt. Tony Francis doesn't call for the fair catch and almost has his head taken off. Or maybe he did, because a flag is thrown. I didn't see him call for it.
I think they were just marking the ball, Ken.
Well, if he did, he threw the flag instead of the beanbag, because the flag is down at the 16-yard line. Let's take a look at it.
I thought he was close.
Go to Hibernia.com or stop by your local Hibernia banking office.
I think you're right, Ken.
Can do for you. Hibernia, where service matters.
So the officials from the Southland Conference chatted over, and they'll mark this one off against Coach O.K. Dalton's Northern Colorado Bears. The Lions won the first 2 games of the year, and that included a stunning upset of then-ranked McNeese State. But went to Texas State and lost in overtime. Fumbled away what could have been the winning touchdown into the end zone. They were down by a field goal. All they needed to hold that football and score, and they couldn't. Then came back 2 weeks ago and lost to Sam Houston State. And that was a real disappointing loss. Sam Houston had just gotten ranked. They had just knocked off #1 Montana. They were not flat. Last week, the Lions rebounded with a victory over Mississippi Valley. And here goes Keelan Davis, and Davis with a first down and extra running room across midfield.
That was a good misdirection play. Keelan's got some good speed and great feet, and he run hard. You could see the blocking in front of him, and big number 74 was out there with him and just made a great run. Shagged one of the guys and made it down the sideline.
Big Calvin Greenwood, nice blocking from Flora, Mississippi.
Got to get a shot of how big Calvin is, huh?
6'6". They had him listed at 235, but I tell you, he looks a whole lot heavier than that.
He's 335.
Yeah, Keelan Davis, that's just a misprint on my part. Keelan Davis tries the left side, nowhere there. And Ryan Palmer, the middle linebacker, there to bring him down. Palmer and Doughty, the two leaders of this defense. Palmer with 62 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, both leading the Bears defense, and 2 sacks on the year. And he's the only returning linebacker. They only had 6 starters returning from a defense that was ranked 16th in the nation. So you lose half your defensive players and you come into this year and you lose, and you've got a lot of teams that are ranked in the top 25. It's no wonder why they're off to a 1-4 start. But this is a pretty good 1-4 team, I'm telling you folks, and they're playing Southeastern right now tight. Here's a toss to Brooks Jordan, and they've got the first down, and a good quick throw by Hankins to Brooks.
You know, it looks like they've put the rain out of their mind now, and they're playing football like they're used to playing.
17-yard gain and a first down.
Very good throw and a good run. You know, he surprises me every week. I think this kid's getting better and better.
Charlie Ballard on the stop. Getting out of the no-huddle offense. Hankins will look over the defense, call plays, has a lot of leeway in calling audibles at the line. First down and 10. Give to Ray Perkins, the transfer from Vanderbilt University. And Perkins finds the going tough in the middle. Came here with Woody Woodenhofer a few years ago and is trying to break the 1,000-yard mark. Needed 81 yards coming in here to get it done. Jared Wallen makes the stop for the Bears.
Yeah, you know, we have to test the middle and keep them honest. So, you know, you're going to get plays like that, but look for something downfield on this one.
Well, you can see Hankins as he makes sure both sides of the line understand the auto. Throws over the middle. It is caught. And that is Josh Taylor with the reception. His 15th catch on the year. The 6'3" junior from Denham Springs.
Just a straight drop, and we're, you know, exploiting the center of the field. And I was going to tell you, Josh he's a nifty little receiver. Got great hands and good feet.
19-yard gain. And now the Lions have a good drive going as we have just gone under the 2.5-minute mark in the first quarter. 2:22, 2:21. No score first quarter. Hankins under center. Lone back behind him is Perkins. And Perkins will try to pick a hole up the center. Nowhere to go. The Bears shut it down quickly.
Second down.
You got to like what Southeastern's doing on this drive, though. They're throwing the football, but they're keeping them honest in the middle. We've broke a couple of misdirection plays on the run, and they're putting together a nice little drive.
And Reed Doughty, the 6'1" junior from Johnstown, Colorado. And on the stop, second down. Actually, a yard lost on that play. Second down, 11. Hankins will work from the gun. Good shot of him with the end zone camera there. He'll look. He's got a man wide open. That's Felton Huggins. Huggins trying to make his way to the end zone. He is in. Touchdown. Southeastern. Felton Huggins takes it the distance. A 19-yard score.
Well, they put together a great drive, and you look again, a 3-step drop. He's throwing down the center of the football field. And of course, Huggins, once he gets his hands on it, I'd like to know what his yards after catch are for the season, because the kid can flat run the football.
Well, for a moment, it looked like the Bears were going to close that off, and Huggins just turned on a little burst and got in there.
Well, we got lucky on that one.
Boy, the point after with a little ricochet off the upright makes it in. What is it with kickers in college football this year? There's timeout on the field. 1 minute, 28 seconds to play. First quarter, Southeastern 7 and Northern Colorado nothing. Back. Rain still coming down. Slippery football. just enough to give quarterbacks fits.
Yeah, and it does, and it will in this game. And the longer it rains, the heavier the balls are going to get.
Now you see Trent Dietz in at fullback. But the call goes to Wilson, and Wilson pushing hard, trying for the first down. Maybe just a little bit short. Damian Put-Heron, the linebacker, is there to make this stop.
And it looks like that's what Northern Colorado needs to do is establish the run first, and then every once in a while try to move the ball downfield. Of course, they made a big mistake here with a holding call.
Holding against the Bears.
Well, again, it's tough enough just to hold on to the football with the weather. A wet day. It'll probably rain steadily throughout this football game. And you figure each team for a turnover or two because of the weather. You don't need to hurt yourself with penalties.
Well,
and both teams have so far. Both teams have.
Ball spotted at the 22. Second down. 20.
Well, I admire the fans that have braved the weather and they're out here with ponchos. You saw a shot of them on the wide shot. They're out there. Some of them just taking turns, coming out watching a little bit, and then you can see them. They head in underneath the stands, get some coffee down there, just dry out a little bit, wipe the water off. Then they come back out in their ponchos, and they sit down and watch this team.
I don't know if you saw it a while ago, but I think we had a window washer came by so we could see.
With the squeegee. And just in time. They get the MVP award from us because it was getting a little tough to see through the windows. Christensen with lots of time hits Jackson, and Jackson's been awfully quiet for most of the first quarter, but he makes a big catch right there.
Well,
and that's going to be enough for a first down unless he gets a very bad spot. Well, they'll measure. It'll be close.
You got a little play action, and very good play action, and then he finds Jackson downfield. But watch the hands. Watch the hands, Ken.
Watch this. Whoa.
I mean, look, went up for the ball, and now you see why he's done what he's done in the league they're in.
6'6", 235, a senior from Colorado Springs, named to the Walter Payton watch list along with Martin Hankins from Southeastern Louisiana. That was a 20-yard reception to give the Bears a first down. Got the penalty yardage back, and here comes Wilson on the run. Breaks a tackle for the first down and pushes deep into Southeastern territory inside the 40-yard line, and that's what made that play action last time so successful, because if you give it to Wilson, he can take it. Burt McGee in on the tackle.
You see it's just a straight dive, and he makes a break outside, and then he just makes some nifty running right here. He puts a little hip action there and gets by him, and then it takes a big effort for us to get him down.
Well, that's another 20-yard gain. So consecutive 20-yard gains, and when you eat up yardage like that, you move down the field quickly. First down 10. As we near the end of the first quarter, we are down to 12, 11. He should get this snap off. And here's the toss to Wilson again. Wilson looking for running room, and he'll find a little bit to the 35-yard line as the first quarter comes to an end here at Strawberry Stadium in Hammond, Louisiana, on the campus of Southeastern, with the Lions leading the Bears of Northern Colorado 7-0. Faster and maybe a little bit more explosive than what a lot of the fans have seen tonight. But right now they're taking their time, being patient, and I think trying to protect the ball. And as I said, that had slapped away and almost picked off by the Bears.
Well, that's what they want to do. They got the lead right now. You don't want to take too many chances and give some momentum back to Northern Colorado. Of course, what we were talking about a while ago about the punt, Ken, they got us down on the 5-yard line. Now we're third and long. They hold Southeastern right here, and of course they're going to have good field position.
That's going to make it third down 10 is the long Charlie was talking about right there. We are in the opening 2 minutes of the second quarter of play. 13-11 showing on the clock. 7-0 Southeastern with the lead.
All right, so the Saints had to burn a timeout. They are down to 2 remaining here in this game. Jim Haslett looking on, head coach of the Saints. You saw Monty Kiffin, defensive coordinator of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A situation there, you see the score, Bucs leading 20-7, but it's third down and goal from just outside the 1 for the Saints right now. You're Jim Haslett. What do? You got an athletic quarterback in Aaron Brooks. Do you run McAllister up the middle, or do you let him roll out?
Well, if I'm Jim Haslett, I'm a former linebacker. I'm telling Mike McCarthy, let's run the ball. That's what he wants to do. That's what he thinks the Saints are at their best. You know, I think they're going to run off the right-hand side on third down, and you got to consider this a four-down territory. So you might see 2 runs off the right-hand side, try to challenge that defensive line of Tampa Bay.
Well, what we have just learned from down on the field is the play clock was wrong before that last play and before they spent that timeout. So in fact, they will not be charged with the timeout, and New Orleans still has all 3 of them, which could be huge in this game, which they trail by 13.
How about that? You get a chance to talk about it, and you get your timeout back.
McAllister is the deep back behind Brooks. 3rd down and goal. Brooks fakes the give to McAllister, rolls out, throws incomplete. Knocked down on the play by Greg Spires. Nice job.
Dan, this is a walk-in touchdown. They faked McAllister off the left-hand side. Aaron Brooks has a wide-open receiver, and Greg Spires, who caused the fumble that Rondé Barber picked up in the first half, gets his hands up. Watch Spires right here, getting in Aaron Brooks's face. It's a tough play to make. He's got Ernie Conwell standing there for a touchdown. Number 94, Greg Spires, making another big play. That's a game changer right there. He causes the fumble that Rondé returns, and he prevents a touchdown right there. Outstanding job by Greg Spires.
John Carney on to attempt the extra point. Or excuse me, they wish it were an extra point.
False offense number 71. 5-yard penalty is still 4th down.
So that'll back them up a little bit.
Top 25 has really hurt the Bears this season. Not a real running quarterback. He's got about as much lost yardage as he has positive yardage gained, but he's a pocket passing quarterback, and if you give him some time and he
spot down kick is up.
Good athlete. There's just nothing designed in the offense for him to run the football, but he does have some pretty nifty feet.
Under center on 1st down with a deep drop, and he will toss it into a lot of traffic. It's incomplete, and green jerseys were the closest players to that football, including Duke Adams, the sophomore from Hammond High School.
Yeah, he was well covered on that play.
Mayo and McGee on the coverage.
That'll bring up 2nd down.
That's one thing you got to watch as a quarterback. When you have a receiver that's hot like that, a lot of times you want to go to him when he's already covered. You just tend to focus in on that one receiver, and it's tough not to do that.
Good shot of the Southeastern band, and they're out here, ponchos and everything. Did a nice homecoming pregame show in the rain, clad in their ponchos. Wilson on the left side, running for a few. Maybe 1, fighting hard for 2. Gang tackled there. Skidmore led the charge. Jay Skidmore, 7-0. Southeastern with the lead. 12.5 to play in the first half of this game. Southeastern Louisiana and the Northern Colorado Golden Bears. The line defense forced Northern Colorado to punt on their first possession. With the weather, got a fumble on the second and has forced 2 punts since, stopping a Golden Bear drive that was reeling off yardage, including a pair of back-to-back 20-yard gains. Now it's 3rd down 9. Christensen with the deep drop. He's got some room. Can he make it to 1st down territory? No. Run out of bounds, and that'll bring up a 4th down for the Bears and a punting situation.
Tell you what, Southeastern's defense is playing up to par tonight. Other than a few big plays that Northern Colorado's been able to put together, Southeastern's done a good job on defense.
Joni Francis is deep to receive the punt of Chad Harder, a 6'2 senior from Aurora. High snap, but he pulls it down. He thinks about running it, and then wobbles one, shanks one on the wobble, which gets a good Bear bounce outside the 20 and will roll inside the 15-yard line.
Tell you what, Ken, I thought we'd get a flag on that play. You saw how he kind of stepped up before he punted it. Looked like somebody would have been downfield.
He can do that as long as he's not throwing it. So the Lions have the football. I thought he was going to take off with the football for a minute because it looked like everybody was just running back and the return was on.
Right.
And I think he thought about it. 43-yard punt. Had about 6.0 hang time, even off a punt moving to the right. Looked like a bit of a shank, wounded duck. Hankins on first down. Will throw. It's picked off at the 15-yard line. Picked off by Ryan Palmer, the middle linebacker. His second interception on the year and the second pick of Martin Hankins. And this is a toughie.
Yeah, three-step drop and looked like Huggins just stopped running.
At the Lions, 16.
Just stopped running. He threw it right in the breadbasket of the Colorado guy, and I don't understand the play. Huggins thought it was going to somebody else beyond him.
Well, the second interception by the Bears defense. And now the 3-4 defense of Coach Woody Woodenhofer has to dig in. They're protecting a 7-0 lead, but the Bears have it 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line of the Southeastern Lions with 11:34 to play in the second quarter. Christensen give to Wilson. Wilson will try the middle and nowhere. Bud Huron on the tackle.
On the stop for the Lions. Penalty on the play.
But a flag is down. Penalty on the play. We've got a good booth crew up here. Sam Petito, our spotter, and Val Ruger, the old editor from Gridwick, now a sportscaster in the Tampa Bay, Florida area, working stats for us tonight. A visiting statistician. Now let's see what referee Jim Kratz has to say. Foul, personal foul. Did he say?
I didn't hear him. I haven't heard him all night. When it rains, a lot of things go out.
Thank goodness they've got sprint turf, or it might be a mud bowl down there.
Well, I can tell you, I'm impressed with the field.
Yeah, personal foul. They'll mark it off against the Bears. And this moves it back a little bit. This sprint turf has drained very well. You have seen some players slide and maybe slip a little bit because the sprint turf is wet, but you haven't seen puddles of water just splash out, and that's because of the great draining ability of this field. Drains 3 to 4 inches per hour.
And that's the amazing thing on the turf. You don't see any puddles of water.
Christensen back to pass. He will throw. He's got a man. It is deflected at the last moment. Wow. That was a heck of a deflection. If Charlie Hall, the left cornerback, was able to get a hand in there, I'm not sure if he just dropped it or Charlie deflected it.
Well, he's a straight drop. He's got the guy beat, and either he made a heck of a recovery on it or he just flat dropped the ball. He made a great play.
Yeah, that's just a heck of a play by Charlie Hall on a pass intended for Jamar Forbes. And that brings up 3rd down 25, and you can see how that penalty has really affected the Bears. 3rd down 25. Christensen under center. Good play action, and he'll go for it all. He's got a man in the end zone, and it is caught. Touchdown. It's caught by Vincent Jackson down there. So when you need it, go to the big gun, Vincent Jackson. What a catch.
He just threw it as far as he could throw it, and the guy was behind him. I mean, he just flat ran by him that time.
Well, he just waited for it. Defender got behind him, as you said, Charlie, and Jackson just pulled it in for a 30-yard touchdown catch.
I thought, even though he had gotten beat, that he was going to try to drag him down and take the flag instead of the touchdown, and he still caught it.
Might have been the play in that situation, now that you mention it. And here's the point after. Booted up and good. We are tied at 7 with 10 minutes and 57 seconds.
First down, they give it to Pittman, trying the left side across the 25, back to the 30. Tackle by Fakir Brown, gain of 5. That'll bring up 2nd down and 5. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to Chris Sims earlier. Trying to get out of the pocket and just driven into the ground by Will Smith. And we have not seen Chris Sims back in the ball game since then.
Yeah,
they're calling it a left shoulder injury.
And the Saints defensive line, they'll come get a quarterback now. They got some guys who can rush the passer, and Chris got that left shoulder trapped up underneath his body. And, you know, like I said, he's handled adversity before at the University of Texas. He's seen it with his dad as a quarterback for the New York Football Giants. This kid's tough. He'll be back.
8 of the last 10 games between these two teams have been decided by a touchdown or less. We have a 6-point difference right now. Greasy to Dilger, short of the 35-yard line, gets it out to about the 34. Gain of 3. It's going to bring up 3rd down and short. Jay Bellamy, safety, making the tackle for New Orleans.
You know, I think Tampa Bay has played a lot better on offense, you know, this week and last week even against Denver. And I think a lot of that has to do with the return of Michael Pittman. You know, this is a guy at the running back position who's great out of the backfield, but also brings a lot of toughness to their running game. And, you know, I think he's been the focal point early on in this ball game, and a lot of the good play action plays they've had off of that has a lot to do with Michael Pittman's success from the tailback spot.
Pittman today, 11 carries, 34 yards. 3rd down, 2 to go. Flag on the play. Greasy rolling right. He's got some room to run. Tackled before he can get the 1st down. Great play by Charles Grant, who chased down Brian Greasy and took him down at the 34-yard line. But hang on, there is a flag on the play.
Mike Carey sorting it out for us.
Illegal shift by the offense is declined. 4th down.
I'm going to tell you something. That's the kind of athleticism that they absolutely love in Charles Grant.
I'll tell you
because
what.
watch him just chase down Brian Greasy.
This is an up-and-coming football player in this league, and we joked about it before. Charles Grant is tied for the most touchdowns as a running back in Georgia State history with the great Herschel Walker. You got a glimpse of his athleticism right there. 5 sacks coming into this ball game. This guy plays the run. He rushes the passer. This is going to be the next great star on defense for the New Orleans Saints.
And wouldn't it be ironic if Aaron Brooks and Charles Grant, the 2 Saints that were involved in that shouting match on the plane back from New Orleans, were the guys to lead this team to victory. Josh Bidwell with the punt. Sends it back to Michael Lewis. Lewis takes it at the 20, back to the 25, hit from behind and taken down at the 29. The ball came loose. It looked as if the Saints were on top of it, and in fact, they will keep the football. Big hit, though, from behind.
What a great play by Corey Ivy. Corey Ivy goes past Michael Lewis. Michael Lewis feels like he's done with him. He gets himself back in the play, and wham! A little bit reminiscent of the shot that Eli Manning took in week 1. Sometimes you account for guys in your mind, and they go past you. You feel like you're done with them. Corey Ivy staying in the play and making a big play for the Bucs special teams.
So with 33 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, Bucs leading the Saints 20-14. Take a look at the team leaders so far in this game. Aaron Brooks, 8 out of 18 for 73 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bruce McAllister back after missing 2 games, doing a nice job for the Saints too. Brooks on 1st down. In the pocket, throws, got it to Aaron Stecker. He's drilled right at the 30-yard line. Gain of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9. Been seeing Derek Brooks do that for a long time.
I'll tell you what, he's an amazing football player, Dan. I've never been around a guy who's as good a player as he is, who works as hard as he does and studies this game. He sees everything. He reads the quarterback's eyes. You see him running from sideline to sideline making plays. This is the kind, if you're looking for a role model, you play football and you're a young kid, look no further than number 55. He's a special guy.
We have 15 minutes to play as we have come to the end of the 3rd.
Lion team in receptions, and a guy who's as quick as he is fast. He's got 4.4 speed, but he's got that quick burst that can make the difference. They didn't get the 1st down, however, because the pass was low and Hutch had to trap it. So that'll bring up 4th down and 1. Now, if you were going to fake it, would you try it here?
Well, you never know with Coach Mummy, but, you know, right now you're trying to play a little field position, and if we can get a good punt out of it, that would be the way to go.
Chase Holbrook, the short guy. No, they won't.
and he got a boomer.
Well punted. He got a
boomer.
nice one. It bounces at the 12. Can they down it? No, it gets into the end zone,
like
and it won't go.
Might have should have left that one alone. It looked like it was going to die.
Touchback, Bears ball, their own 20.
Now that was a good punt.
Be sure to visit the concession stand.
58-yard punt, and he had all the hang time on it he wanted. He had over 6 seconds hang time on that one. So. We're tied at 7 with 8 minutes 47 seconds to play in the first half of this game. And the Bears have it. Rain still coming down at Strawberry Stadium in Hammond, Louisiana.
The official website of Lion Athletics.
Tony Christensen, the junior quarterback. Here's to give to Wilson. He's been the workhorse back there. Wilson fighting hard on the right side for a few. And he'll gain 5 up to the 25-yard line. Derek Mincy and Spikes were in on the stop. Good shot of the sprint turf here. And for the amount of rain this field has had in the last 2 days, I can tell you, and you can see the rain coming down on your TV shot there. Here's Wilson again, this time with a hole, and he's got enough up the middle for the first down. Huron and Jones combined to make the tackle. But the Bear drive stays alive.
Yeah, you know, on a normal situation with a grass field, there's no way that water could have drained off.
Back in your day in the 80s when you were playing quarterback, you would have had a game in this type of weather. It would have been like the boys playing in the mud.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It would have been the mud bowl for you.
We played Nickel State, I said, you know, one year, and I'm telling you, the ball was literally floating off.
First down for the Bears. At their own 33, Wilson again. The wet weather, and they are working.
To be physical and run the ball north and south on them. I think this is the one that surprises me the most. 203 passing yards for 2 backup quarterbacks for Tampa Bay. Both Chris Sims and Brian Greasy have played very well.
Saints looking at a 3rd down and 6. They are 2 out of 8 today on 3rd down conversions. Brooks feeling the pressure, rolling right. Flag down in the backfield. Brooks throws it complete out across midfield, down inside the 40-yard line to Jerome Pathon. But hang on, this one's coming back.
It's going to be a hold. Wayne Gandy on Simeon Rice.
Holding. Offense number 72. 10-yard penalty is still 3rd down.
Wayne Gandy has had a tough time handling Simeon Rice today.
I think everybody does. And, you know, we talked about it earlier that Simeon Rice only having 1 sack coming into this ball game. This guy is a tough guy. Tough duty for Wayne Gandy today, and here comes Simeon in that wide stance coming around the edge. Not much you can do. You got to get out of your stance and get depth. Simeon is so fast, though. Again, applying some pressure backside of Aaron Brooks. 2 holding calls, a couple false starts on Wayne Gandy. A lot of it has to do with that guy right there, number 97, Simeon Rice.
Well, Brooks has not been sacked today, but he has certainly felt the pressure, and his offensive linemen have felt the pressure from Simeon Rice as well. 3rd down and 16 now. Brooks from the shotgun. Pocket holds, looks left side, throws for Joe Horn. Got him at the 45, and that's good enough for a first down.
How about that?
Big connection from Brooks to Horn. And how many times have these two done that? 21 yards right there.
Are you kidding me? 3rd and 17 against this Tampa Bay defense. It's a 3-man rush. A lot of black shirts sitting in there. Aaron Brooks stands in the pocket and delivers a strike. Excellent protection, excellent finish down the field, and a huge 3rd down pickup. Aaron Brooks, Joe Horn of this New Orleans Saints offense.
1st down and 10 from their own 45. Trailing by 6. And on 1st down, they're going to keep it on the ground. And finding a little bit of room in there, and then finding quite a bit of room is Deuce McAllister. Stacked.
Of course, he unfortunately got a bad bounce out of it.
Yeah, if he'd been getting the bounce, both punters have been getting almost every time. That ball may have rolled inside the 20. The Lions get the good bounce in their favor and get the ball at their own 30-yard line. Bears defense showing a blitz here, but it's not coming. However, everybody's over on Keelan Davis's side of the field, and he has nowhere to run as he's knocked out of bounds.
He needed about 10 more yards.
The first down, falls forward to the 42. Gain of 4, but they'll move the chains again.
Again, this has been the formula. 3 out of the last 4 times these teams have played, the Saints have won the game. You know, Jim Haslett told us that 2 years ago, everybody in the league called him as the Bucs were making the playoff run. How do you beat these guys? What's the formula? And he told them, you got to hammer them. You got to hammer this defense. They're fast, they're athletic, but they're not stout. And that's what we're seeing from the Saints on offense today.
First down and 10 now from the 43. That's Horn in motion. Deep back is McAllister. Play action fake. Brooks looking out there for Boo Williams. It's going to be picked off by Brian Kelly. Kelly back to the 25. Tackled there. But a big play by the Buccaneer defense. Something they hadn't been getting before today. But several times this.
To snap the ball back, and it just slipped out of his hand, laid there.
That's unfortunate. I mean, Hankins didn't even get a chance to
touch the football.
No. Obviously, they called it down. He must have fell back. Oh, it was a legal procedure.
Yep, no kidding. It's a illegal procedure right there. Saves the Lions because I thought that was a fumble.
Yeah, that was a gift.
Now, it's a good call. The snap never did get off, and it's just it would almost be as if a center came to the line of scrimmage and then picked up the football and moved it. And that would be an illegal procedure type move, and that's what the officials are calling right there, and that's what they're explaining, I believe, over on the other side. Well, let's see. You'd seen the shot of the officials over talking to Coach O.K. Dalton. Been around for a long time, a 72-year-old coach. Got some national championships behind him. In D2 here at Northern Colorado. All right, they walk off the penalty yardage, and that brings up second down. Hankins, screen pass right side. Perkins looking for room, and there's not much. We have gone under 6 minutes to play in the first half.
Well, Daugherty got out there quick, and I'm going to tell you, they don't play like a 1-14. Just like we talked about earlier, they've played some quality football teams this season, and the ball didn't bounce their way, but they're a lot better than their record indicated.
I know it's an overused cliche. People say, wow, they're the best 1-4 team in the nation. But you know what? In this case, the title really fits this team. Moniker really fits because this is a good team. Remember, 3 of their 4 losses came to teams that are ranked in the top 25. Hankins on third down and 13. He's got a man between a lot of white shirts for the first down. Good catch, Brooks Jordan. The senior from Salisbury, Texas. He found a seam amidst 4 white shirts and made the catch.
Well, Hankins took his 5-step drop, and you can see him reading the field and made a beautiful throw. Really did. And of course, the receiver sat down on it. A lot of times you'll see a receiver run on past the ball, and it looks like the quarterback made a bad throw. But when they're working together, of course, it all looks good.
Needed 13 yards, got 17 for the first. And now Hankins will work under center with nobody behind him. No running back. Bears showing blitz. They break through, and Hankins has to release quickly to get rid of the ball. Took a hard shot after he released.
Hankins did that was a good play on his part because he felt it coming and released the football and avoided taking a loss.
You know, there's tough football players and there's warriors. When you talk about Martin Hankins, you're talking about a warrior. I mean, he can take a licking and keep on ticking, like the old Timex commercial used to say.
He's played in the last 2 years. He's played through a lot of injuries. Of course, this year he's a lot stronger with a good offseason under his belt, and he's showing it.
On second down 10, Hankins with the drop. And he throws into traffic and incomplete. Well, that pass was intended for Josh Taylor. Charles Barrett was covering.
Another 5-step drop, and he throws downfield, and it looks like Northern Colorado. Well, no, I think he made a good play. He might have had his hand on his back, but he didn't affect his ability to catch the ball.
Hankins came into this game ranked first in the nation in interception to attempts ratio. He had only thrown 2 interceptions coming into the game in 244 attempts. Of course, he's thrown 2 interceptions in the first half, so may have fallen out of first place in that category in 1AA. Third down 10. And this ball knocked away and played very well by Greg Gebhardt.
Yeah, he got lucky on that one. That should have been 6 the other way.
Yeah, he floated the ball a little, took a little too long to get the ball there. Floated it out there, and Gebhardt had a lot of time to look at it and react to it. That'll bring punter Jim Hall into the game on 4th down 10 with 4:31 to play in the first half. 4 minutes, 31 seconds. And the score tied at 7. Good shot of Coach Hal Mummy. Down there with his staff, working hard on this one. His son Matt Mummy on this staff. Quarterback's coach and helps with the offense. This a muff snap, and Hall has to hurry it and just gets it off. Somebody got a little piece of it, I think. But Hall did a great job to get it off, and it rolls past the 30 and is down before taking a bare roll. And you've got to credit Jim Hall, the punter, for doing a heck of a job there, Charlie.
You know, he made probably the biggest play of the ball game right there. You know, we talked about this earlier in the game. It was going to be a battle of field position because of the weather tonight, and that's exactly what's happened. Is you got 2 teams battling it out. There's not a lot of big plays in the game, so field position is everything. So for him to get that punt off and get it out of their own territory was a big play.
First down 10 at the 27. Nowhere with the running game on first down as Andre Wilson gets the call. You know, you'd think the quarterbacks and the punters and maybe the wide receivers would be having trouble with the football, but so far it's been the centers.
Yeah.
And the deep snappers. Southeastern's had one go over Hankins' head on the first series.
Well, what happens before? The center's soaking wet, and he's got all that moisture coming down off his arms onto the ball, and he's trying to make calls on the field, and a lot of times he'll lose his grip on the ball.
Christensen on 2nd down 10 in trouble and is sacked. He's dropped by guess who but Huron. That's his 3rd sack of this ball game, and now he has 7 on the year, leads the line team in sacks.
Well, he's having a big game tonight, I tell you. He's all over the ball.
The junior from Amite.
Of course, Huron's got great speed. I mean, the guy's a 4.5 40 at linebacker, and
not bad for linebacker speed.
No.
Now that brings up 3rd down long, 3rd and 14 at the 24.
If you hear me.
Christensen will work under center and will toss long down the right side, incomplete. It was intended for the tight end Paul Schweitzer, the 6'3" junior from Littleton, Colorado.
And McGee made a heck of a little play there. I don't think he got there about the same time, but he put a stick on. He'll think about it before he goes into that area again.
Well, that's what you want to do as a defensive back. You just want to let that receiver know you're there.
Well, that's right.
Put that stick on him. If he can drop the football, good. But you know that he'll be thinking you're somewhere in the area on the next ball thrown. So in comes Harder to punt the football. And he'll stand back near his 10-yard line. Gets it off. And Choney Francis will just let it bounce in front of him. Wet football, maybe the safe play. So with 2:39 to play in the first half, the Lions tied at 7 with the University of Northern Colorado. Will try to get a drive going to take something into the halftime that's positive. A 36-yard punt with 4.3 hang time. And the player of the game comes right underneath the press box and squeegees the windows. That guy gets my vote.
I can't see a thing anymore.
It looked like we were broadcasting in an aquarium here. So first down for Martin Hankins and company And they've got 2 minutes and 39 seconds to play with on this drive, starting off at their own 44-yard line.
Well, this is usually when Southeastern's at their best, when they got a few minutes left and they really concentrate on what they're doing and getting the ball downfield.
Jared Mason has done a fine job. Had a little trouble with the weather and the football today, but he has done a fine job filling in for the starting center, Donald Ussery, who's been out with an injury since early in the year. Should be back in a couple of weeks, however. That's Francis in motion. And Hankins with the rush on has to let go early, and he underthrows the intended receiver, Hutch Gonzalez, who was well covered.
Incomplete. Second down.
So that'll bring up second down for Southeastern. Rain still coming down and is expected to come down the entire evening. But the sprint turf in good shape. The football is giving people a bigger problem than the sprint turf, which drains 4 inches of rain an hour here. This turf, by the way, sits on about 8 inches of rubberized black sand. Hankins will scramble, and ball just gets away from him, and a late shot delivered to Jeff Howard, but no flag thrown on the.
You can.
A very late shot. Aaron Henderson delivered it.
You can see he sets up. He doesn't have anything, so he starts moving off to his right, and then he kind of just pushes the ball.
Got a little flyer. It just took off on him. Now watch this shot right there. That's the one with the ball out there. The official looking at it, so he didn't think it was a late shot or.
It looks like they letting him play.
Penalty deserving shot. Absolutely. Third down 10. Hankins will work from the gun with no protection, so the blitz is on. No, they call it off. Little time to throw. Hutch Gonzalez with a nice catch at the 40-yard line of the Bears. Dowdy hit him hard out of bounds. A 16-yard gain for the first down.
There's not a lot of quarterbacks. There's not a lot of quarterbacks in 1A or 1AA that can make that throw in the rain on the corner between 3 guys. I mean, the guy's got ability.
That's why he's on the Walter Payton watch list. He threaded the needle between 3 white-jerseyed Northern Colorado Bears that time for the first down at the 40-yard line with 2 minutes and 17 seconds to play in the first half. Here comes the blitz. Hankins, with a little bit of time, has to let
play in this game.
The punt away. Lewis is going to take it at the 28, taken down at the 31, and that's where the Saints will take over. Torrey Cox making the special teams tackle, but New Orleans has it back, trailing in this game by 6. Got a great day planned for you here on Fox. Already told you about our doubleheader coming up next, and tonight, much more. We've got baseball, Cardinals, Dodgers.
Pressure on him and take him out of his rhythm, because if you give him time, you see what happens. He's going to get the ball downfield.
Mario Gilbert, late to check in, comes into the backfield to protect Hankins on second down 10. Here comes the blitz again, picked up well. Hankins looking, has the time, and throws the pick, the third interception of the evening. This one picked off by Reed Dowdy.
In Aaron Brooks' career, he has led his team from behind for a victory in the 4th quarter. Aaron Stecker, the former Buck, with a hole to the left side, down into Tampa Bay territory and taken out at the 46. 23 yards on the play.
A little bit like thunder and lightning. This Tampa Bay defense is sick and tired of seeing Deuce McAllister. This time it's going to be Aaron Stecker off the left-hand side. A good kick-out block by the tight end, and here comes Aaron Stecker. Something to prove. Anytime you play your old team, you want to show them that you can still play. The Tampa Bay team has a lot of respect for Stecker. It's easy to see why.
Well, 2 weeks ago, the Bucs faced Warren Sapp. Last week, John Lynch. Today, Aaron Stecker. He may not have the stature of the first 2 guys, but he picked up 23 right there. First down and 10 for the 46. That's Stecker again. Met behind the line of scrimmage, carries forward, picks up 1, maybe 2. It's going to be second down and long. Rondé Barber makes.
Go to his Walter Payton watchman, and that's going to be Benson Jackson, who has been very quiet in this ball game. Just a few catches so far.
Auburn, 52.
You had to figure they were going to get back to him before the half was over.
Final Tennessee 19.
Jackson's the first ever player as a punt returner, kick returner, and wide receiver to have back-to-back 300-plus yard all-purpose.
6:45 to go here. Second down and 9. The give this time to McAllister, who's back in. Sidesteps a tackler at the 45, gets down to the 41-yard line. Gain of 4. That's going to bring up third down and 5. Well, what got us to this point? A very big play by the Tampa Bay defense. Spires forces the fumble. Rondé Barber picks it up and takes it back for the score.
And the mantra that we heard yesterday from all the Tampa Bay guys is let's just keep hustling. Those plays will come. Play the defense, keep hustling. A lot of white shirts are around the football all the time, and nobody's better at picking up the fumble and running it back than that guy right there, Rondé Barber.
Well, the play clock is wound all the way down to 0. Mike Carey's got something to say about that. We've had a couple problems, it seems, with the play clock today. Once it was reset incorrectly, and the Saints were able to get a timeout back because of that. Now Mike Carey has come over to talk with Jim Haslett.
The play clock did not reset the 40 seconds. We'll adjust it, and New Orleans will not be charged with a team timeout.
Because Aaron Brooks had looked up and seen that the play clock was winding down and was going to be forced to use a timeout. Saints the football, third down and 5. Big play for them. 6:10 to go. They trail by 6. They need to find the end zone. Take a look at the third down conversions. The Saints came into this game last.
Quarterback of Northern, when he threw that ball to Vincent Jackson, that was only his third catch of the game.
You can see here, you know, he doesn't look great running the ball, but he seems to be able to get it downfield.
He's an athlete. You
Yeah,
can tell. He can get it done. That 6'2", 210, the junior from Littleton.
In coverage, but he can't prevent the Saints from picking up 10 and another first down.
Joe Horn loves running those slant routes. He starts Brian Kelly to the outside and works back in on the slant, and Aaron Brooks throws a strike in there. A huge pickup. Protection is good up front by this Saints offensive line. Aaron's got a lot of space to throw. He delivers a strike. It's a big pickup for New Orleans.
Brooks today 11 out of 22 for 106 yards and a pair of touchdowns. Also an interception. Got to take care of the football here. That's McAllister. Met at the line, taken down, gain of 1. Ian Gold makes the stop. It'll be 2nd and 9.
That's for 72 yards. I believe he's rushed the ball 18 times now for 74 yards with those two. So
they're almost meets in the backfield before he gets to the line of scrimmage. The Saints offensive line, I think, is hammering this defensive line a little bit, but those fast guys off the edges are disrupting the running game.
Deuce McAllister over 100 yards rushing today. 21 carries, 103 yards. 2nd down and 9, just outside the 30. McAllister the deep back, play action fake. Brooks keeps it. Tampa Bay sniffs it out. Brooks has nowhere to go. He'll gain a couple, but it's going to bring up third down and long. Nice play in there. Rondé Barber stayed home. Dwight Smith stayed home. Both guys doing a good job of tracking down Aaron Brooks.
I like the call, and I love the athleticism of Aaron Brooks. You're out there by yourself with Rondé Barber. Potentially a disastrous play. He pump fakes it, gets himself to the outside, and again, a lot more manageable situation. 3rd and 8, a lot easier than 3rd and 12 or 13.
Aaron Stecker checks in. Deuce McAllister comes out. Both receivers to the right side, the top of your screen. Stallworth and Joe Horn. Brooks from the shotgun. Pocket holds, looks, wants the end zone, and Stallworth incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down now, and a decision for Jim Haslett. He's decided he's going to kick a field goal.
Clock still running. 50, 49, 48 seconds to play in the first half. We're tied at 7. And the
middle between the two safeties, just a little bit too far. And here comes John Carney.
It will be a 47-yard field goal attempt for John Carney. Spot down, the kick is up for Carney, on its way. And it is good. Just like that, 3 more points for New Orleans, and we got a 3-point game here at the Superdome. 3:43 to go. John Gruden and the Bucks looking for their first victory of the year.
Sunday, October 31st at 1:30 p.m. And the LSU Tigers are still on the road, and that means we will be there also. Join Cox Sports Television Sunday at 5. We'll bring you the full game rebroadcast of the Gators-Tigers SEC matchup. Join us in the stands Sunday at 5 p.m. right here on Cox Sports Television. And for all the information you need on Southeastern sports, go to lines.net, www.linesports.net, and you'll get all of the information that you need about Southeastern sports. www.linesports.net for all your information on Southeastern Louisiana football and all other Southeastern Louisiana sports. 43 seconds to play in the first half. It's 4th down. The Bears were close but didn't make the first, so that's going to make it real interesting here. 3 interceptions thrown by Martin Hankins in this first half of play puts his #1 standing in jeopardy on interceptions to attempts ratio, where he was leading the nation in 1AA.
I'd be surprised even with the 3 interceptions if he would drop out of first place in that, because he's had such a great year. And I mean, it's understandable in the rain. It's just, you look at our first half here, you got 3 interceptions and you got a fumble. You got 4 turnovers in the first half.
It's raining harder. The rain is really coming down in sheets now. And you may even hear it through the microphones that we have. You can see a pretty good shot of it there, and believe me, your picture is not doing justice to how hard the rain is coming down. So Justin Zaitz, who has been perfect in his career inside of 30 yards, will attempt, it looks like they'll move it back to the 31-yard line.
Timeout, Southeastern.
And Southeastern will let him think about it for just a little bit. So
Carney sends it on its way. It's going to be Cox. Back at the 4-yard line. Back to the 10, cuts left at the 15. Keeps his feet, still going at the 25, out to the 30. What a return by Cox, out to the 40, 44-yard line. And that's where Tampa Bay will take over. James Allen finally making the stop on special teams, but that was some terrific running out there by Torrey Cox.
And this is huge. I mean, field position's important any time in the game, but when you're under 4 minutes to go and 3 points separate the two teams, Torrey Cox making a big play for Tampa Bay. Get themselves out past the 40-yard line. Even if this drive doesn't work out, you punt it, you force the Saints to go the long field. A huge play by Torrey Cox and his Bucs special teams.
Getting it done there. Bucs lost their regular kick returner Frank Murphy to a torn Achilles tendon last week. Michael Pittman, left side, flag down, gets into New Orleans territory at the 49. But hang on for a second. Saints are saying, come on back.
Holding offense number 78. 10-yard penalty, it means first down.
You know, the Bucs have been in so many close games this year, except for the Raider blowout out there in Oakland. You know, all the scores have been close. They've all come down to a field goal or a touchdown late, those types of things. You look at the record right there, 0-7 in games decided by 4 fewer points since the start of last season. They haven't been able to win the close games, and that's one of the reasons right there. They're making mistakes and errors down the stretch. They're not being like Mariano Rivera. They're not closing things out when they need to, and that's what they need to do today.
11 penalties against the Buccaneers so far this afternoon. The last one has them looking at a first down and 20. Charles Lee in motion behind Brian Greasy. Greasy sets in the pocket, throws, got it complete out to the 45-yard line to Ken Dilger. Gain of 11. It'll bring up second down and 9. So they got half that yardage back, which is a big key for Tampa Bay.
Dan, I can't tell you how impressed I am with Brian Greasy. Saints do a good job taking away his first receiver, steps up and finds Dilger in the middle of the field, getting 11 back.
Looks like we have a timeout down on the field.
field goal because the football probably weighs 6 or 8 pounds more than it normally does.
That's a good point.
And
he's kicking a wet pigskin.
You got that right. And then just seeing the ball, getting the snap down, the holder putting it down. And
they'll stop the clock with 3 minutes 18 seconds to go. Tampa Bay looking at a 2nd down and 9.
And that's what you have to do in that situation. If you're the Bucs offense, you obviously can't try to get it all back. It's 1st and 20. You throw the football. If you can get half of it back on 1st down, 2nd and 9 is very manageable. Look for them to get Michael Pittman back involved here on 2nd and 9.
So here come the Bucs. The Saints looking for a stop. Lead the football back, trailing by 3. New Orleans has 2 timeouts remaining. Greasy on 2nd and 9. Play action. Looks, throws, got Pittman at midfield. Taken down right there. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 4. Orlando Ruff, the middle linebacker, makes the stop.
Nice job by New Orleans rallying to the cause right there. Brian, again, finding his check down in Michael Pittman.
And once again, the Saints will stop the clock. 3:12 to go now. They only have 1 timeout remaining. So this becomes a very big play for both sides coming up. 3rd down, 5 to go. Bucs trying to keep the drive alive and kill that clock. Saints trying to get the football back.
That's a big decision for New Orleans here in terms of personnel. Tampa.
So what?
The Saints have to decide, hey, do I bring an extra DB in? Do I keep our linebackers in? Extra corner in the ball game. It looks like they're going with their nickel personnel, taking one of their linebackers out and adding the extra defensive back. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of a run here by Tampa Bay.
Well, you saw Brian Greasy's numbers since he has come in for Chris Sims. Everybody cheering at the Superdome. Greasy trying to draw him off sides. Not going to do it. He'll take a timeout.
The 31-yard field goal attempt is up and good. So wet football, tough snap, 3 timeouts called to ice him, and nothing affected the cool demeanor of Justin Zeitz as the Northern Colorado Lions take a 10-7 lead over the Lions with 37 seconds to play. You know, this game is very much like last week. Now, that game wasn't televised, but Mississippi Valley came to town, and the Lions just got off to a very slow first half start. Then they had a little attitude adjustment at halftime.
Right.
And the Lions came out and just put the game away quickly and early.
They did.
Last week in the first half, and this was partly due to some drop passes, but Martin Hankins was 9 of 20 for 70 yards. In the second half, he was 17 of 20 for 234 yards. And this game, much the same with the weather having something to do with it.
Right. And, you know, it's a shame that we had this type of weather tonight because for Southeastern, you know, they had gotten off track for a couple of weeks, and it looked like at the tail end of that game they really got it back together.
Pittman is behind Greasy. Gonna throw, 3rd and 5, gets it out to Pittman, and that's a 1st down inside the 40, down to the 36, and now the clock continues to tick. Cedric Hodge makes the stop for New Orleans, but the clock becomes a huge issue for the Saints in this game.
It sure does, and we talked about Michael Pittman taking some pressure off of Chris Sims. He takes some pressure off of Brian Greasy as well. I think in Brian's mind, if it wasn't a perfect look down the field, he was going to find number 32 working on the linebackers. Good protection up front, a good throw by Brian, and a good finish by Michael Pittman. Played well both in the running game and catching balls out of the backfield today.
Well, this is going to be with 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go, and the Saints down to just 1 timeout. Tough on New Orleans if they don't come up with some big plays right here. Gain of 1 for Pittman. New Orleans is going to take their final timeout and stop it here. It will also stop at the 2-minute warning.
Bed of line, and outside of being slippery, you wouldn't even know it's raining out there. So the Lions get a return back to the 38-yard line.
Henderson on the return for the Lions. Waterman on the stop for the Bears.
And with 30 seconds to play in the first half, let's see if the Lions can move it down using their no-huddle air raid offense, good clock management, maybe some sideline activity. Martin Hankins, a very smart quarterback. But he's had his troubles tonight, throwing 3 interceptions. Hankins over the middle of Ray Perkins out of the backfield. Perkins trying to break a tackle and cannot.
Lean times at the beginning. Right now, leading by 3 with 2:22 to go. Second down and 9. Ryan Greasy on a relief of Chris Sims. Pitch out, Pittman left side, got to stay inbounds. Tries to do that and does. The clock will continue to move, and it will go down to the 2-minute warning as he gets down to the 37-yard line. Gain of 4. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 5.
Again, give the ball to Michael Pittman, and a smart play by Pittman along those sidelines. Get what you can get, and then.
And penalties, but mostly turnovers, part of this game. 3 interceptions.
Coach,
by Martin
first
Hankins.
half, weather obviously a factor for both teams tonight. How do you feel about the first half of play tonight?
Well, I was happy with the first quarter. I'm not very happy with the second quarter. We threw the 2 picks. They really put our defense in a bind. I think they played really good to hold them to a field goal and then no point. You know, they got the 1 score on DB fell down. But, you know, basically we just got to go solve some problems in the O-line. If we can do that, I think we can get Martin time and we'll be okay. He just got hit too much in the second quarter.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it, Coach. Back to you guys. It's Marv Verpois for Cox Sports.
Thank you. That's Hal Mummy and his comments, the coach of the Lions, as he heads to the halftime locker room. At halftime, it's
saving money.
You're watching Southeastern football on Cox Sports Television.
You know, Volkswagens are built for the Autobahn. Oh, yeah. The Jet is built to perform at higher speeds, so it's solid. Yeah, solid. Really holds the road. We might want to... next one's fine. Yeah, so let's just... Getting hungry?
Want to find out what makes a Volkswagen a Volkswagen? Come drive it. You'll get it.
There's an easier way to get the gear the pros wear. Just call 877-NFL-SHOP. For a free team catalog, go to NFL Shop on NFL.com or call 877-NFL-SHOP.
2 coaches in very different positions right now. The New Orleans Saints and Jim Haslett on your right in need of a big play, a defensive stop on 3rd down and 4. John Gruden, the Buccaneers, if they can convert here, they will take a knee the rest of the way and come up with their first win of the season. Michael Pittman is the deep back. Mike Allstott is the up back. Brian Greasy on the give. It's Pittman. Cuts left at the 30. Got the first down inside the 25. Down to the 21, and that's going to do it.
And it has rained more on Southeastern than it has, I would say, on the Bears of Northern.
Because of us, and the biggest loss, I think, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year is the guy who comes up huge on a 3rd down play.
And Pittman means so much to this offensive football team. He brings so much toughness and quickness and
5 yards for 110 for the Lions. You look at the quarterbacks, Tony Christensen, 4 for 13 for 75 yards and a touchdown to Vincent Jackson. But look at Martin Hankins, 11 for 25 for only 110 yards, 3 interceptions, and the 1 touchdown. And when you come to big receivers, Vincent Jackson, only 3 catches for 68 yards, but he got a touchdown. Hutch Gonzalez, only 2 catches for 21 yards and no score. And I'm looking for the Lions, who are a great halftime adjustment team, to make the type of halftime adjustments that will make a difference in the second half like last week.
You're right, and they will. They make good adjustments at halftime.
Our special guest at halftime is going to be the wife of the head football coach, Hal Mummy, his wife, June Mummy. And before the game, because of the weather, she was going to be up here and couldn't get up to the press box. We did an interview with her that I think is going to be of interest to all of our women viewers especially. So let's roll that interview with June Mummy. It is homecoming here at Strawberry Stadium in Hammond, Louisiana, on the campus of Southeastern Louisiana University. And you're taking a good look at the homecoming corsage of June Mummy, a special gift from the president of the university here at Southeastern, Dr. Randy Moffitt. And what a beautiful homecoming gift.
That was wonderful of him to think of me, and Hal brought it home for me yesterday after work.
June Mummy is our special, very special guest here at halftime because October is a very special month, not only for her, but for lots of women everywhere. The month of October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and June, the wife of head coach Hal Mummy, I know this means a lot to you.
It does. 8 years ago today, I was diagnosed with breast cancer during one of Hal's most successful football seasons when we were at Valdosta State University. So today is a celebration for me.
How did you overcome that news? What happened when you got that news?
It was devastating. There was actually no cancer of any kind in my family. I thought that the lack of cancer in my family was my genetic life insurance policy, that I was going to live a very long time. So this diagnosis absolutely devastated both Hal and myself and our children. It was very difficult.
How did your family handle it, June?
One step at a time, one day at a time, 1 hour at a time. You know, when you're so overwhelmed by fear and fear that you might not be there to watch your children get married, hold your first grandchild, the only way the best coping mechanism that we had was to just try to put one foot in front of the other and go through our regular daily routines and do everything as normally as we possibly could.
But the Mummy family is a football family. Hal Mummy taught June Mummy how to overcome adversity, and you beat this. You are now a survivor. You overcame the adversity.
That's right, and there are the good news is there are a lot of women that are surviving breast cancer right now, but the key is early detection. Early detection saves lives.
You are very active in the Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Development Center, I believe, here on the North Shore. You're the Director of Development for Hammond and Covington in the North Shore area. Tell our audience a little bit about that, and what does that mean for them?
Well, Mary Bird Perkins started in Baton Rouge in 1971. The main center is in Baton Rouge. 16 years ago, they built a second center in Hammond. So we've been in this location for 16 years serving this community. 6 years ago, they built another treatment facility in Covington, and that serves the North Shore community. And my role with Mary Bird Perkins is to raise money because we are a non-profit radiation treatment center. So my role in the community is to raise money to help pay for our services and programs that we offer the community.
You have been very active in that cause here at Southeastern. At last week's football game, you had a number of state legislators here. They were introduced at halftime. They were in pink, and they all had their pink ribbons. So tell me what pink ribbons in the Pink Ribbon Month is all about.
Well, pink ribbons are a symbol and a reminder that October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Now, the ladies that were wearing the pink jerseys, the Louisiana Legislative Women's Caucus have embraced breast cancer as their issue. From all over the state of Louisiana, these women legislators came here, senators and state representatives, their message is early detection keeps you in the game. State Representative Diane Winston, who lives in Covington and represents parts of Tangipahoa Parish and St. Tammany Parish, was kind of the catalyst for getting all of the women legislators involved. Now they're taking their game on the road to Southern University when Southern plays in the Superdome next week, and up to Grambling, with a vision that this will go all over the whole state of Louisiana.
That's strong. What advice would you give to someone out there that is going through the trauma, and I'm going to call it trauma, of breast cancer?
Well, you know, family is very important. Friends are very important. You know, I think that most of the time when you're going through treatment and you're trying to make decisions, the best thing that I can say for friends and family is that we just want to know that people care about us. We're not always looking for answers and solutions. We just want people to hug us and hold us and say kind words, send us cards, and let us know that they care about us.
Did that strengthen the Mummy family?
It very much did. And even though I thought we were great people before I was diagnosed with cancer, I think that we're better people. We're more sensitive people. Hal has actually become a more sensitive kind of guy, which, you know, in the football world is tough. Yeah, because you think of these guys as being tough and rugged and not really being sensitive, but it really has impacted him, our marriage, our children, our entire family.
June Mummy, if someone in our audience wanted to know how they could get involved with the Mary Bird Perkins funds and the whole cause, how would they do it?
Well, I think the easiest way to get involved is to log on to marybird.org. There's all kinds of information. There's all kinds of telephone numbers and contact numbers. They can call me. I mean, even if you end up getting to Baton Rouge and the Baton Rouge main number, you still, you know, they can direct you to me. Also here locally in Hammond, there's a Hammond number, and in Covington, a Covington number. So I just encourage you to get on the website. All that information's on the website. Call me up, happy to talk to you and get you involved.
Now, before we let June Mummy get away, there's a couple of human interest stories that I think our fans would be excited about. One, you're an old upstate New York girl, and your family moved to Houston, but you've got some ties to Louisiana, don't you?
Correct. In 1971, we moved from upstate New York to Houston, Texas. I was the second of 6 children, and I went to LSU from 1972 to 1974. I left LSU in 74 to marry Hal. Hal and I are actually celebrating 30 years of marriage this year.
Congratulations. That is fantastic. How did you all meet, by the way?
Well, when we were living in Houston, his parents lived in the neighborhood, and I was the lifeguard at the swimming pool. So that's how we met, up at the swimming pool, and his brother actually introduced us. And I wore a red bathing suit, and so Hal never forgets the red bathing suit that I wore.
He may be doing a little swimming tonight out on the field, which actually drains very well. June Mummy, thank you for sharing your experience. Not an always easy thing to do, and maybe inspiring some of the women in our audience who might be going through this trauma right now.
Well, thank you very much. I was glad to be your guest, and I hope we end up being on top at the end of tonight, and it's very exciting to be here, football, other than the weather.
For the wife of the head coach, Hal Mummy, June Mummy, I'm Ken Berthelot.
Organization that will receive the home.
And we're back live at Strawberry Stadium, and we want to thank June Mummy for that interview and her frankness on being a survivor and surviving something as traumatic as breast cancer. And she hopes to be an inspiration to others who are going through the same thing. What she didn't tell you in that interview, by the way, when I asked her how her and the coach, Hal Mummy, met, she said he was in the pool. She was the lifeguard, and he swam across the pool, and he swims up to her, and he says, "Hey, what do you have to do to get saved in this pool?" So boom, they meet and they're married, and 31 years later, they live a very happy life, and they've got a great family, and she is a true inspiration to people.
Well, she is, and she does a lot for the community, and everywhere they've coached in the past and lived, she's done the same thing.
Very active also in not only breast cancer, but all cancer research, and does a lot with Rich Maudy, a good friend, and his cancer golf tournament and his fundraising efforts to fight cancer. We'll take a break. We're at halftime, and the University of Northern Colorado Bears are leading the Southeastern Lions 10-7 on a rainy, soaked evening at Strawberry Stadium in Hammond. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching Southeastern Lions football on Cox Sports Television.
Spirit of the Southland.
To be there for your family. We understand. Your State Farm agent is there with life insurance options to help you protect your family's financial future. For life insurance, call your State Farm agent today.
In Laplace, see your good neighbor, State Farm agent Mike Williams, for your insurance needs.
LHC Group, representing a network of 70-plus healthcare facilities throughout Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas, is helping people all across the region with a dedicated, high-quality medical staff. LHC Group offers home care, rehabilitation and long-term acute care, hospice, private duty nursing, and Lifeline. Whether it is about our patients, our employees, or our partners, here at LHC Group, it is all about helping people.
There's a place where the wind is cool and the curves are exciting, where all convertibles are turbocharged and the sun has a very hard time keeping up. The all-new Saab 9.3 convertible. This is the state of independence. Welcome.
Stop by the all-new Jerry Lane Saab on Florida at Foster. Jerry Lane Saab, the answer you've been looking for.
In Tangipahoa Parish, one picture is worth 1,000 words. Tangipahoa Parish, we have it all. Come see us soon.
Due to time constraints, we rejoin the game further into the matchup.
We are back at Strawberry Stadium here in Hammond, Louisiana, and get set for second half action, folks, with Northern Colorado leading Southeastern 10-7. Our player of the game for the first half is the sprint turf, because the sprint turf has performed admirably. It has drained well. A few players have slipped around, but you haven't seen slush. You haven't seen puddles of water. And I didn't believe it could drain 3 to 4 inches an hour, but it certainly has. Now, it was raining very hard right before halftime. It is not raining that hard to start the second half, but it's still coming down at a good, steady pace.
Yeah, if you was going to pick a player that probably had the best half on both teams, I'd have to choose the kicker for Northern Colorado and the punter for Southeastern, Jim Hall.
Yeah, Jim Hall and Justin Zeitz. You're absolutely correct. Those two guys have done it. Hall gets set to kick off to either Vincent Jackson or Aaron Henderson, both speedy players standing back at the 5-yard line. So we get set to go with second half action, and a 10-7 Bears lead over the Southeastern Lions. And Hall will send a line driver, which will bounce and come to Henderson, and he'll take it to the 15, the 20. He's got a seam, but it closes quickly as the Lions gang tackle him after a good return out to near the 34-yard line. Going to be a return of close to 29 yards.
Another player that had a really good half is Damian Huron. Outside linebacker, and I'm going to tell you, hopefully he can play that way in the second half, because he's going to need it coming from behind.
Well, the line defense has really done a fine job in the first half. Hal Mummy knows it, too. The old Mummy towel's soaking wet. It's soaking wet even on a dry night, because he just perspires so much down there. He's getting a little help from the rain and the weather tonight. First down 10, and the old workhorse Wilson with a big hole. He's got the first down and more across midfield, and takes a few lines for a ride to the 41-yard line. Finally, Ramirez Mayo on the stop. A 25-yard gain for Andre Wilson, who is 1 yard shy now of 100 yards. And that would be, for this young man, his 5th career 100-yard game. He's been the workhorse in this weather tonight.
Yeah, nothing fancy, just straight up the field.
He'll get the call again, goes over 100 yards as he gets inside the 40-yard line. I think Northern Colorado with the lead, it's easy to see what they'd like to do. Ramirez Mayo made the stop. Hey, control the football on the ground, and as long as you're reeling off yardage, the ball control keeps the ball away from Martin Hankins and that high-powered air raid offense of Hal Mummy. And you've got the lead. And if you're Martin Hankins, Charlie, you're an old quarterback. You've thrown 3 interceptions in the first half. How does that play on your head coming out here?
Well, a guy like him, for me, throwing 11 times a game, it would have killed me. But with him throwing 50, 60 times a game, I don't think it affects him at all. He just keeps throwing it.
The Andre Wilson show for a few more yards to the 35-yard line, where Puthurin makes the stop from his linebacker spot. Wilson had 1 touchdown rushing coming into this game, and I don't think he's ever carried as many times in a game as he's carried tonight.
Well, he probably hasn't, and it's worked well for him. I mean, even though Southeastern's put up a good fight on defense, they've hammered it out, and he's got a couple of big plays.
Christensen over the middle into a crowd. The ball is dropped, maybe batted away, and that was a dangerous throw. Wilkes and to make the stop. It was intended for Paul Schweitzer, the big 6'3" junior tight end. But man, that, if you want to talk about a dangerous throw, watch the green jerseys here.
He throws the ball down. And actually, he made a pretty good throw.
Yeah.
A little bit behind him, but he was going to take a lick either way.
Despite the green jerseys around him, had he threaded the needle, that would have been a big gain, because Schweitzer had actually gotten just a step on everybody there. But that brings up 4th down and 2, and the Bears are going for it. No field goal. This is outside of the range of their kicker, Zeitz. Christensen throws. It is picked off and dropped. Puthurin had it and would have been racing down the sideline, but he couldn't hold the football.
That's a shame, because look, that would have put an exclamation point on his game tonight. He's been all over the field. And it looked like he may have tried to run before he got control of it. Well, it was a little tougher than it looked. But he's been all over the field.
Well, let's see. We will have a timeout on the change of possession. So with 13 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter, 10-7, Bears lead the Lions. Back after this on Cox Sports Television.
What's great about this Passat? Has 4-motion, all-wheel drive. Right. Responds so fast you won't even know it's working. Whoa. There, did you feel that?
No, what?
Exactly.
I didn't feel anything.
Right.
What?
There, did you feel that?
I still didn't feel anything.
There you go. No, did you feel that?
No, what?
No, I'm just kidding that time. Well,
I'm with you now.
Want to find out what makes a Volkswagen a Volkswagen? Come drive it. You'll get it.
Brand Scaffold Builders is a local full-service scaffolding company regardless of your location. From the very basic to the extremely intricate and complex, Brand Scaffold Builders can handle all your scaffolding needs, including direct, commercial and industrial, sales, rental, and labor. Brand's team delivers the highest quality access solutions with safety, performance, schedule, and budget utmost in mind. Call Brand Scaffold Builders now to find out the best solution for all your scaffolding needs.
So the Lions take over on downs. First down, 10 at their own 35. 13 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. Martin Hankins comes into this game completing 66% of his passes, and it's time to start hitting a few here in the 2nd half. Here comes the blitz on 1st down, and Hankins releases quick and hits his man Brooks Jordan. And the ball is wrestled away from Jordan, but I think it's a catch. He holds on to it. It's a catch.
That's what they needed to get a drive going, get on the positive side of the field. And he showed you some strength in his arm that time. He put it on a rope.
Al Mummy likes to see that when the air raid is working good, and a fine catch by Tommy Brooks Jordan, the 6'3" senior from Silsbee, Texas. 1st and 10 at midfield. Hankins looks at that defense and watches them shift around, makes his audible calls. They're blitzing again. He'll toss it quickly again, and this time gets Felton Huggins in on a catch. Felton Huggins very quiet in the first half with only one catch.
He has been, and you keep looking for him to get deep because that's what he's known for, but the corner out there is playing him very well.
That's Greg Gebhardt, and you're absolutely correct, playing Huggins very well. Huggins at 6'4", Gebhardt at about 6'1", so not a big height advantage there for Huggins, but they've got to get, the Lions do, Huggins into this offense in the second half. Second down 8. We're at the 12-minute mark in the third quarter. Huggins will work out of the gun. Lions have been blitzing on almost every down here to start this. Well, they have here in the second half. And they will again. No, they call it off on the last minute. And Hankins will fake pump and then run. Tackled. And he'll be just a little bit short. We talked in the first half about Martin Hankins being a warrior. There's a game, Charlie, we did last year against McNeese, and they just punished Martin Hankins, and he walked to the sideline sometimes, leaning over, favoring his arm, which had gotten hit by the constant blitz of the Cowboys, but he wouldn't come out the game. He said, "Coach, let me in there. I want to stay. I want to get it done. I want to learn. I want to just get that maturity that I need as a quarterback."
That's right, and that's how you become a leader, and then that's why those guys fight every play for him.
Big third down and 3. Hankins has time, has Hutch Gonzalez. First down, looking for more, breaks the tackle. Hutch Gonzalez tripped up and couldn't hold it, but has the first down in a big play right there for 32 yards.
Well, it's just a matter of time, like a 4 or 5 step drop, and he found him coming down the field. But look at the touch on the ball, laid it out there, easy to catch, and then of course he did the rest.
Well, it's still raining.
Got away.
It's still raining as the Lions try to come out on their first possession and make something happen. Not as hard as it was at the start of the second half, but still coming down at a pretty good pace, and it's blowing into the face of the quarterback, Martin Hankins, who takes the snap on first down and is in trouble and dropped back at the 20-yard line.
It's a shame. It's hard to see what's going on out there, but he's got people open, and he can't pull the trigger on the ball because it's so slick, and he knows better than to even try, because that's why he had 3 interceptions in the first half.
But also the sign of a smart quarterback. The first half he might have thrown that football right there and gotten it picked off. This time he ate it, because with his arm he can get that yardage back on one simple toss. Second down 18, second down long. The Lions on their first offensive possession. We've just gone under the 10-minute mark in the third quarter. Hankins against a blitz, has to release fast to Gonzalez on the toss. Touchdown, Hutch Gonzalez. Touchdown, Southeastern.
That was a beautiful play, well-conceived play, and I mean he put it on the money. And the boy, when he lays the ball out there, he's got the touch that you look for from a quarterback. He can throw it on the line, but he can lay it up there and put it on the money too.
My friend, that was a tough throw because he had a big guy bearing down on him, and he had to put the right touch on it and get it over the oncoming rushing defender who had his hands up, and still Martin Hankins put that ball perfectly, threw it perfectly and hit Gonzalez in stride.
Well, you kind of look for this to happen in the first or the second half because the ball's dry. And as the half goes, it's going to get wetter and wetter just like it did in the first half. So if you're going to come out and try to strike fast, you need to do it fresh off the first half because the balls have been worked and dried over the halftime.
So Jim Hall is in to attempt the point after. And he kicks that wet football up and missed it. He missed it. Wow, the kickers in college football this year have added the thrill back into the extra point. There's timeout on the field. 13-10 Lions, 9:47 to play. You're watching Southeastern football on Cox Sports Television.
A hurricane threatens your home to protect it, and you probably won't have a home. Prepare now. Do a hazard hunt to find anything that can cause damage. The most vulnerable areas of your home are the windows, doors, garage doors, and roof gable ends. Close, cover, and brace them. Forget about taping your windows. It doesn't protect them from anything. Finally, update your homeowner's policy and get flood insurance. Prepare today. Contact Track today.
Sunday. Saturday.
Listen to the roar as he goes the distance.
Friday? That's right, CST is adding a new night to your football weekend. Be sure to catch the Gulf South Game of the Week this Friday as St. Amant takes on Woodlawn in another high school showdown.
Well, Jim Hall has kicked 19 of 22 extra points, but missed that one. And I don't think anybody tipped it. It looked like it had pretty good leg on it. I think he just pushed it off to the right.
Well, there must have been a personal foul on the extra point.
Well, evidently, yes, and it's marked off 15 yards to the 50, and that's where Jim Hall will boot it. And he gets enough leg to send this one deep into the end zone, so the Bears will take it at their 20.
Well, you had a great drive by Southeastern. Hutch Gonzalez did a wheel and a go and got open, and he laid it in there perfect. And that's what you look for from Hankins and Hutch and Huggins and all those guys, because they throw the ball 60, 70 times a game. And eventually you can hold them and hold them and hold them, and then they're going to bust loose, and that's what they did.
So Christensen on first down gives to Wilson, who's already rushed for 105 yards in this game. And he'll work hard for just one or two more up the middle.
Over the top for the Lions. Second down.
9.5 minutes to play in the third quarter of this game.
Kind of look for Northern Colorado to put it downfield shortly.
Well, I'm looking for both quarterbacks to try to get their two top wide receivers into this game a little bit more, but the Bears are going to stick with the ground game and Wilson up the middle. Now, if you're Coach O.K. Dalton right now of Northern Colorado, you've got to think of it this way. Yes, they went down and scored right there to start the second half, and we're still in control of this game. Our ground game has been working. Wilson has been running the football.
Oh, yeah, they're in good shape. Yeah, they are in good shape. I mean, if they keep their running game going,
Kenny Johnson checks in at linebacker for the Lions. Here's a big 3rd down 7. Rushes on Christensen. A good job to escape it, but can't get by the second person. And Derek Mincy makes the stop and forces the Bears into a punting situation.
Southeastern's played good defense most of the night tonight. We've had a few times where things got by us, but you can see he's got pressure on the quarterback immediately. He tries to step up and get away from the movement of the defense, and then Mincy catches him and takes him down. So Southeastern did a great job on defense that time.
Chad Harder stands at his 6-yard line. Tony Francis at the 45. He's got some time to get some leg into it in this rain. Punts an end over end and gets a great Northern Colorado roll inside the 20-yard line. Only had about 4.0 hang time on the punt, but when you get a good 15, 20, 25-yard roll, it makes the punt look good. And it's not easy punting in this weather.
No, it's not easy, but you know, we have to catch that ball and stop that roll, because
59-yard punt. With that, we'll take a timeout. 7:38 to play. Third quarter. 13-10 Lions with a lead over Northern Colorado. Back after this on Cox Sports Television. We're tied at 13 at Strawberry Stadium on homecoming, rain-soaked homecoming in Hammond, Louisiana, on the campus of Southeastern. The Southeastern Lions and the University of the Northern Colorado Bears. And the Bears just tied it up with a 25-yard field goal. And let's see if the Lions can get this high-powered offense to start looking like the high-powered offense. It's only looked like that on one drive here in the second half. The first offensive possession taken by the Lions. They drive all the way down for the score to take the lead at 13-10, but the Bears just tied it up with the field goal, and Zeitz will kick it off.
Yeah, we've seen some flashes of brilliance, but
well, he had the wind
steady.
Yeah, had the wind behind him, so used the deep kick as Southeastern moved all of the kick returners up, expecting another squiver. So that one's out of the end zone, and the Lions will have it at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10, and let's see if Hankins can get it going. Get Perkins in that offense and get Felton Huggins. Where is Felton Huggins tonight?
Well, the guys covered him well, but if I had Huggins out on the corner, I'd have to throw the ball downfield, try to stretch the field a little bit and let him go after it, because he's been covered one-on-one all night.
Perkins has 12 yards rushing. And I don't believe he's in there right now. This is the wide receivers set, or he's split way to the left side as Hankins will go down the middle for Jordan, and it is caught incomplete. I thought he got there a little bit early.
I did too.
We'll have to see. Well covered on
if
that.
He did,
Charles Barrett, the
great
defender.
Coverage.
Fantastic coverage by Barrett. Let's watch it.
He laid it up there a little bit, but I think he might have got there a step early, but it's hard to tell. It's
hard to tell. Looks like he may have got his hands on the football, and then as the hands went on the football, the bodies collided down below.
And he has as much opportunity for the ball as the receiver does. So.
Absolutely. You can see the rain still coming down at a good steady pace and wreaking just a little bit of havoc here at Strawberry Stadium with the players against the blitz. Hankins to throw. Hankins looking, and what a good catch by Josh Taylor.
Beautiful
taking the distance. Josh Taylor taking it to the house.
And that's what you look for. I don't know if you noticed, Ken, but it almost looked like he was throwing to Huggins. You notice that?
80-yard score.
Yeah, and now watch, he takes his 3-step drop, 4-step drop, and then watch Huggins coming across. You see? You see Huggins. It looked like he was throwing to Huggins, and then either way it worked.
Well, the Lions are back in the lead. That might be the big play they needed. Backed up deep in their own territory. They strike for the score, and this time Hall kicks the PAT through. There's timeout on the field, 20-13. Southeastern with the lead over Northern Colorado. You're watching Southeastern football on Cox Sports Television.
There's a state where there's fun around every corner, where all cars are turbocharged, and there's a direct link between the right foot and a smile. This is...
Your career is going to be remembered for 7.
Stop by the all-new Jerry.
Whereas
LHC Group, representing a network of 70-plus healthcare facilities throughout Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas, is helping people all across the region with a dedicated, high-quality medical staff. LHC Group offers home care, rehabilitation and long-term acute care, hospice, private duty nursing, and Lifeline. Whether it is about our patients, our employees, or our partners, here at LHC Group, it is all about helping people.
Big play city. That's what we've been waiting for. And sometimes there's the guy who caught it right there, Josh Taylor. Big score. Sometimes when they're covering and taking some of your big guns out of the game, other guys have to step up, and Taylor just did. Hall will squib it. bobbled by the short man, bobbled by everybody, and the Bears fall on it at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10.
Well,
Talking about guys stepping up.
Well, and that's right. And you look for guys, Hankins, you're not going to shut him down continually during a game. He's going to have his big plays during a game. That's the way their offense is set up. It's just fun to watch, and we want to see it every play, with the rain and what have you going on, it doesn't seem like the normal flow of a Southeastern football game, but you know that if you wait long enough, you're going to see some big plays.
Hey, with the amount of rain we're having here, watch how you use that word flow. 1st down, 10. And the Bears will keep it on the ground. Waterman, Jahir Waterman in there, and I'm wondering if Wilson got hurt. Stopped by Marvin Jones, the strongest player on this Southeastern defense. We haven't seen Andre Wilson for a while. Waterman, the sophomore, his backup, has been in there for the last 2 series. I don't know if the poor guy is just tired, if Wilson's just exhausted, or maybe he got injured. We'll try to find him on the sideline and see if he's up walking or down on the bench with some type of a injury. 2nd down, short yardage, which is 4, as Christensen is under center. Steps up in the pocket away from the rusher. He'll have to take it himself. Drops the football. Scramble for it. It's still loose like a greased pig out there. Who's got it? Put Huron.
Fumble on the play. Recovered by Damian. But Huron.
Watch Charlie Hall and Bud Huron get the ball back for the Lions in great field position here.
You see the speed of Hall coming around the corner. Of course, he got away from him once, and then he swiped the ball, and then didn't look like we was going to get the ball. We tried to pick it up and run with it, and then eventually they got down on the ball.
Nice job of Charlie Hall, not just to tackle, but to strip that football too. That's good coaching right there.
Right.
I like that. 1st down, 10 for the Lions, and they're at the 20. Hankins looking at a rush, but it's picked up well. He's going in the end zone for it all, and we've got a flag as Huggins is tripped up on the far side, got tangled up in the feet of Greg Gebhardt. They've been battling each other all night, and Gebhardt tripped him that time.
Well, you can see he's beat, and Hankins throws the ball a little inside, so he'll have to break back to the football, and that's when the penalty occurred.
The officials from the Southland Conference, our referee is Jim Kratz.
But you got to go to Huggins. I mean, the guy, even when he's covered, he can go up and get the football, and you want to stretch the field when he's on the field, even if he's covered.
Pass interference penalty will move it down to the 5-yard line.
Against the Bears.
Down to the final 2 minutes and 48 seconds in the 3rd quarter. 2:48 to play in the 3rd. 20-13 Lions. And now Ray Perkins in the game. Let's say if they get him in the offense right here. Needed 81 to get to 1,000 yards tonight. Not even close right now. He's rushed 5 times for 12 yards. Perkins with the call around the left side. Can't find the end zone.
That was a great open field tackle, because I can tell you 9 out of 10 times Perkins will get by one man.
Reed Dowdy stopped him there. That'll bring up 2nd down for the Lions. Again, this game taking more and more of a look like last week against Mississippi Valley, where the Lions were just sluggish in the first half, then came back in the 3rd quarter and opened up a wide gap by scoring touchdowns on their first 3 possessions. They could do it here in 3 of their first 4 possessions if they score on this drive. On 2nd down, Hankins to the end zone looking for Huggins, and it's incomplete. Pardon me, that was Robbie Skates intended on the pass, but Dowdy on the breakup. That'll bring up 3rd down. They don't get it here. You've got to send in Hall to kick the field goal and give yourself a little bit of breathing room from this pesky Northern Colorado
I'll tell
team
you
that
what.
won't go away. They just stay in there. They hang in there. They fight you for every down, every yard. The fact that they don't have Wilson running the football on the last 2 series has made a big difference in this team, and we still are trying to find out what happened to him. Here's 3rd down. Hankins rolling right, looking into the end zone again to the back of the end zone. This one caught. Did he get his feet in? No. Huggins made the catch, but out of the end zone. Incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Got a flag down there.
Yep.
He just, you know, he was.
Could be a hold right there.
He went with a sprint pass, so he'd have an option, and
it may have been.
Huggins was covered pretty well on that play.
May have been Mason. You saw him grabbing and stretching the jersey. Well,
Penalty declined.
Penalties declined, and that will bring up 4th down.
We definitely need to get points out of this.
Jim Hall, the field goal kicker, in the game, and he'll be kicking from a left angle. The wind right now not blowing too hard down there. He's pretty close. Brooks Jordan will put it down at the 10. This will be a 20-yard chip shot from the left side, and he kicks it up, and good. Looks good, but you always wait for those officials who like to throw a little thrill into it by walking out a few yards and then putting the hands up and saying good. The Lions have taken a 10-point lead, 23-13 over Northern Colorado, and you're watching Southeastern football on Cox Sports Television.
Motion all-wheel drive, hill descent assist, a GPS navigation system, 4-corner adjustable air suspension, a 310 horsepower V8 engine. Yep, our Touareg already comes available with all sorts of hardware, and we just added some more. The Volkswagen Touareg, Motor Trend Sport Utility of 2004.
There for your family. We understand. Your State Farm agent is there with life insurance options to help you protect your family's financial future. For life insurance, call your State Farm agent today.
In Ponchatoula, see your good neighbor, State Farm agent Patty Hubert, for your insurance needs.
Two fumbles by Northern Colorado. One in the first half didn't hurt them. This one led to a Southeastern field goal because the Lions got it in pretty good field position. Weather being bad, if you make the mistake, it's going to hurt. As Hall squibs it, Henderson will pick it up. Looking for a seam, nowhere to go. He is gang tackled and dropped. First man down there for the Lions was Kent Smith. We're down to the final 1 minute 44 seconds of the third quarter, and the Lions lead at 23-13.
You missed that, Ken. That referee just took a spill.
He what?
The ref took a spill on that play. They were pushing the pile back, and he got in the middle of it and went rolling out of there.
Well, they're soaking wet. They just want to have fun, too.
Ball spotted at the 20.
They just want to have fun, too. That's
goes.
gang tackle in there. Kent Smith was the first one there. And Wilson is back in at running back and gets the call. I don't know whether he was injured before or just resting, but I know Northern Colorado's offense was not the same without Andre Wilson. He's back in there and running the football.
Well, there's going to come a time in the game where he's going to have to throw the ball downfield, and they're getting that separation. Southeastern's been looking for it. They're still in the game, but they need to make something happen on this series of downs.
Approaching the 1 minute mark in the third quarter, we're down to 110, 109 and counting. Tony Christensen, the quarterback. Good play action, and he does that well. Looking this time for Vincent Jackson, his top receiver, has him for the first down up to the 38-yard line.
I think I'd throw it to him on every play if I had my choice, because he's got great hands.
He'll get you 15 yards. He got him 15 there, and he can get you 10, 15 almost every time he's got the football or touches it. Jackson averages 17 yards a catch. 17.3 yards. That's an awful lot.
He runs good routes, and he catches the ball with his hands, and that's what you're looking for.
Wilson and Jackson, the 1-2 punch. Wilkes on the stop that time. Now to the final 30 seconds of the third quarter. Southeastern enjoying a 10-point lead, and the Bears look like they will decide to run one more play with the rain still coming down hard. Flags go down, stopping the clock with 6 seconds to play in the third quarter. Procedure. And the Bears will have to snap it one more time in the third quarter of play.
Just a false start.
Easy to see and easy to happen with the weather like it is, ball slippery like it is. Some of the false starts are taking place right there at center. We've seen both centers have trouble with the snap of the football tonight at one point or another.
The crowd is this large, it's kind of hard to hear.
At the end of the third quarter, the Lions lead 23-13 at Strawberry Stadium. We'll be back in just a moment with the final 15 minutes of play. You're watching Southeastern football on Cox Sports Television.
I'm a Ford truck man, that's all I drive. I ain't got no boundaries, I don't compromise. I'd rather walk 10 miles and bed down on my luck than ride around the block in another kind of pickup truck. Ain't no doubt my king of the mountains built Ford tough.
They'll go anywhere, they'll do anything. They're Ford Explorer and Ford Expedition, and both feature big cash back or low APR right now.
See your local Southern quality Ford dealer today.
We start the fourth quarter of play in Hammond, Louisiana at Strawberry Stadium with the Lions enjoying a 10-point lead, 23-13 over the Northern Colorado Bears. Bears have it second down 11 at their 37-yard line. Rain coming down as it has for the last day and a half. Christensen dropped the football, picks it up, and will just have to try to make something. And he runs out of bounds for lost yardage at the 32. Lost about 5. Looking at some third quarter stats, or the stats rather at the end of the third. Northern Colorado 125 yards rushing. Southeastern 16 rushes for only 22 yards. But the Lions have paced themselves well in passing now with 258 yards. Of course, 80 coming on that one pass, that one touchdown play to Taylor. 119 yards passing for the Bears. Total yardage 280 for Southeastern, 244 for the Bears. Here's third down 15, and Woody Woodenhofer's 3-4 defense digs in. Christensen with the deep drop. Has some time. It finally breaks down, and the pressure gets him and sacks him down to the 30-yard line. This time, Jay Skidmore, the first sack we see lately. That's not Put Huron.
Skidmore's had a big game too. He's been around the football, but they're putting the pressure to him, and you know it's fun to watch defense when it starts coming together, because early in the season they had their problems, but I'm gonna tell you, week to week they get better and better.
Chad Harder came into this game averaging 39 yards a punt. A little bit less than that today is his punting because of the weather. Gets a good snap this time and no rush, so he can put a foot into that football. And it's fair caught by Choney Francis inside the 30-yard line. 3.7 hang time on a 43-yard punt.
Southeastern has a chance here to kind of separate the game at this point and make it a 17-point game.
14 minutes and 1 second to play in the game. Rain still coming down hard. And we want to take this opportunity to remind you that coming up at 10 p.m. is Cox Sports Television's College Football Tonight. You'll get a recap of all the Gulf South games that you care about. Victor Howell and Brian Kenshin bring you all the action, and they do a great job. So stay tuned to Cox Sports Television for College Football Tonight right here on Cox Sports Television. Charlie, I don't know if you've ever seen that show, but I'm going to tell you what, if you haven't, watch Victor and Brian. They do one heck of a job. They bring you some good stuff, and they have some insightful commentary.
They do.
I like to say, when you watch those two guys, you will learn something about college football today that you didn't know.
That I didn't know?
That's right. You'll learn something that you didn't know. I know that's hard to understand.
Hey, look, there's a lot. You teach me something every time I come up in the booth. So.
Hey, we're just both learning from Sam Petito right here, man. He's working in a booth with us, and he just keeps us honest. First down, 10 for Martin Hankins and company, and they're looking for Ray. Perkins has room. Perkins has a seam.
What'd you say about that 81 yards?
It's a foot race. He needed to get into the game, and he gets pushed down right before he can score. He needed 81 and he almost got it. He had 12. He might be over 1,000 yards with that run right there. Ray Perkins over 1,000 yards as a rusher for Southeastern.
Well, all I can tell you is he broke out and the kick and flat run, but I believe that bear got on him about the last 10 yards.
He wasn't running out of gas. His jersey was so full of rain. The water was logging him down. He was waterlogged. Here's Hankins. Let him finish it off. He'll try the middle, and he can't get it. Perkins trying hard.
You know, the thing about Perkins,
let him cap it off.
In any other offense where he would get the ball, 15 to 25 times, he'd be a 1,000-yard rusher every year.
Absolutely. And was a heck of a rusher at Vanderbilt in the Southeastern Conference. He transferred here, and when he did, he was their second leading rusher for the Commodores over there as a true freshman. Had 425 yards on 87 rushes. Pretty good at Vanderbilt in the Southeastern Conference. But he wanted to follow Woody Woodenhofer here and play for the Hal Mummy Air Raid offense. Second down. Give to Perkins again, and the Bears are stingy. They just won't let Perkins cap it off, and if he keeps losing a yard, they're going to back off under 1,000 again. He's got to take it forward, Ray. You can see the rain coming down. Lines up, 12.5 minutes to play in the game. And the Lions taking control, but again, not until the second half, and that's one thing this team's got to do the rest of the way. They've got an off week next week. And then they're back home. They play Mercyhurst and Alcorn. So they've got an opportunity to kind of get things going again. It's been about the halfway mark. Good time for an off week. Give them a little chance to get healthy. Big rush. Hankins in trouble, and he's sacked back at the 13-yard line. Thomas Smith, the outside linebacker, and I don't think anybody touched him. He just came through like a freight train.
He couldn't avoid that. Best thing you do is cover up. And
well, that's what he did. I just wanted to see Perkins put the exclamation point on that long run. But now Perkins has 85 yards on 10 attempts, and he just needed 81 to get over the 1,000-yard mark.
And what is he at?
He got it. He's at 85.
Okay. See,
a 30-yard attempt by Hall is good. And the Lions have a 26-13 lead over Northern Colorado. Timeout on the field. You're watching Southeastern football on Cox Sports Television.
Jaguar Nation. Catch every game through the eyes of CST. The Southern Jaguars are ready to tear through the SWAC. Are you? Catch the tape delay game against Jackson State Sunday, October 17th on CST. This season, get 70 games. Get a look at game day with Southeastern Sports Today. Get scores every 20 minutes with CST Scores Now Sports Ticker. Get the full day's recap with CST College Football Tonight. With all this, you'll never want to leave this party. CST is bringing you the ultimate tailgate party all season long. The best tailgate party in the South takes over Tuesday night with Alabama at Kentucky in a tape delay matchup.
The rain continues to come down here at Strawberry Stadium in Hammond, Louisiana. So hard so they cannot keep the press box windows squeegeed for the coaches, the radio broadcasters, and even the TV booth. As soon as they squeegee these windows, they just get water dropped again. Squib kick. And Henderson on the far side will take it, looking for some room, trying to break a tackle, and he cannot. He is brought down just past the 30-yard line. Pittman, Charlie Pittman, in on the tackle. 11-19 is all we have remaining in this one in the fourth quarter of play. And the weather has wreaked probably more havoc on the fans. Some of the fans, especially early in the game, were trying to brave the weather, but right before the halftime, it started raining so hard, it chased almost all but the diest hordes of diehards underneath the stadium.
Well, you got to give them credit for being here.
I'll tell you what, you've got to love them. Christensen on first down, in trouble, and he is dropped way back at the 24-yard line. Jay Fendelson in on the stop. And I'll tell you what, let's give a hats off to the crew tonight doing this game. You think it's tough to sit out there as a fan and watch the game. Just think if you're up there with the camera trying to keep the lenses clear of all of these water and drops and water beads so that our fans can watch this game tonight.
Well, you're right.
Good job
Look,
by the crew. Good job by the crew.
Very good job by the crew, and they got a tough ball, so they got to stay on their toes.
Here's Wilson on second down and long, and he won't come close to getting it. Hall on the stop. Well, Northern Colorado is going to have to open it up with 10.5 minutes to play in the game. If they're going to move this football against this defense from Southeastern, which gets very stingy. Boy, Woody Woodenhofer and his staff, Coach Jack Patera, who's up here in the boat and coaches the linebackers, they make fantastic halftime adjustments. And if you're going to come out and get this team, you're going to have to throw the football. You're going to have to open it up. And let's credit the line defense. They have really taken Vincent Jackson out of this ball game. We'll get some numbers on Vincent Jackson, but he has, and he's made a little noise with a one-touchdown catch. But here's a long 3rd and 12. Christensen dropped by Puthuron. That's at least 5 sacks for Putt.
I'm going to tell you something. That kid needs to be player of the week somewhere in some publication because he is just lit it up today. He's got to have 10, 12 tackles. I hadn't seen the stats on him, but
Southeastern next year will be a full-fledged member, including football, of the Southland Conference. And if this would have been a game, he'd be the Southland Conference Player of the Week defensively,
no doubt,
because he's lived in the backfield with Tony Christensen and company. There's no doubt. Chad Harder to punt it away. And Jackson, lost track of that stat, but we'll get it. Not many yards. Tony Francis calls for a fair catch and does so in wet weather with a wet, slippery football. Makes the fair catch. And the Lions have it with 9:04 and a 13-point lead. 9:04 to play in the fourth quarter. 13-point lead for Southeastern. Hal Mumme, proud of Choney and proud of the team. They have come through in the second half. He knows how to get it done. He has brought football, resurrected football from the ashes here at Southeastern. An $8.3 million economic impact to the North Shore of Lake Pontchartrain. And Hal Mummy has got fans excited. It won't show on that shot, but I promise you there were a whole lot more fans here when the game started in the rain until the monsoon came right before halftime and chased many of them away.
Well, we led the country in attendance per capita before tonight because of the rain. But I'm gonna tell you, Hal and Woodenhofer and the whole group have put the people in the seats. They put a good product out on the field to watch. I mean, it's fun for fans to come up. A lot of people come up after the LSU games or before them and watch Southeastern play now, which you didn't get that in the past.
And one real nice facet of this program is the tailgating under the pines here. I know we have trouble pulling you away from the tailgate, don't you? You've made a good habit of visiting a lot. You've made a lot of new friends since you've been in the broadcast booth, and you've tasted just about everybody's tailgating menus. And it doesn't even show you're in shape. And
yeah.
First down, 10 at the 36 with 9:04 to play. Hankins against the blitz, dumps it off, and flags are thrown. Thomas Smith
Hankins has hold his arm.
You know, the tackle, Hankins, is always holding his arm, and holding is the penalty on the lines.
Penalty on the play. Tackle made by Smith.
If Hankins should get hurt, you would see Trey Willie, the 6'2 junior from La Ranger, come in. Chase Holbrook is playing as a true freshman on this team, and he's a true freshman from L.D. Bell High School in Dallas, Texas. In high school, Chase, and you might see him sometimes on kickoff returns, is number 7, the guy with his back to the oncoming rushers, and he's doing the razzle-dazzle handoffs. Of course, everybody's squib kicking now to take that away from the lines. But he came here to play for Hal Mummy because he wanted to learn to be a drop-back passer at 6'3" with good weight. He wants to play on Sundays in 5 years, and he thinks Mummy can get him there. Second down, 13. Hankins will go under center with the rain falling. Perkins has room. Perkins busts the tackle and gets more up close to midfield. First down for Ray Perkins. Great second effort. Reed Dowdy finally got him down, but you saw the explosiveness of Perkins.
Well, just a great block, and he does the rest with it. He runs so hard.
How does he break this tackle and keep going? By Charlie Barrett.
He gets a low center of gravity, and he takes the blow to the defensive man, and a good running back does that, and of course he does it every time.
We're nearing the 8-minute mark in the fourth quarter. The Lions have a first down, and Hankins is under center. This time they'll go to the fullback, Terry Robinson, who goes straight ahead for a few. The 5'9 junior from Plaquemine High School. Reed Dowdy again on the tackle. So you'd hear his name and Ryan Palmer's name called an awful lot in this Bear defensive scheme. Those guys are the leaders. They're everywhere.
Second down, 4.
Right now the Lions want to eat clock. 7.5 minutes to play. A 13-point lead at 26-13, and Hankins in no hurry. Long count. And they give to Perkins this time, and he'll run for what should be the first down before Dowdy again makes the tackle.
First down, Lions. Barrett and Doty.
Of course, you got to like what Southeastern's doing. They're taking time off the clock.
Which is down to the 7-minute mark in this ball game now. Ray Perkins, 11 rushes for 99 yards. His next carry should get him over the 100-yard mark, and he has reached 1,000 yards in his career at Southeastern Louisiana in 2 years. And Perkins gets the mark, gets the century mark, and a few yards up the middle, but you can see exactly what Hal Mummy wants now. He's got a comfortable lead. He's in good shape. He wants to run clock. We're down to 6.5 to play. Carlson made the tackle for the Bears. And right now, the only surprise of this game was the lack of throws that Felton Huggins could get his fingertips on. Made the nice catch at the back of the end zone, but could not come down inbounds. Would have been a score. The Lions had to settle for a field goal. And Hankins using just about all of the play clock on every snap. On the end around, Keelan Davis fools nobody and is tackled for a loss back at the 40-yard line by guess who? Reed Dowdy.
Francis on the carry.
Under 6 minutes to play in the game now.
Again on the stop. Third down, 10.
That blurry light you see in the background is blurred only because of the amount of water between the camera and that light as you saw at ground level.
Well, I'm relying on you because I can't see a thing.
And they just squeegeed the windows a few moments ago.
They do, and then the wind blows it back in, and I still can't see. So
on that wide shot, television does not do justice to the amount of water that's falling in Strawberry Stadium, the amount of rain that's coming down. On third down, 10, Hankins with the deep drop. He'll throw over the middle, caught and knocked out of the hands of Felton Huggins. Did he hold it?
No,
he dropped it. Boy, he was hit hard. That's the old crack in the back by Charlie Barrett, and Huggins took a shot.
He took a 5-step drop and he threw it across the middle, and he kind of hung him up, and he took a lick.
Well, you an old quarterback. You know when you're throwing over the middle, your receivers are counting on you to get it there and get it there quickly with a fast release, because when they have to go up or stretch out, they're hanging their life out there for you, man.
And they let me know it, too, when they came back to the huddle.
Hall shanks one off the right side of his foot. He angle punts most of the time anyway and gets a good roll on this one. The ball will go out of bounds at the 10-yard line. So with 5:05 to play in the fourth quarter, 26-13, the Lions with the lead. And we'll take a break and be back with more right after this. You're watching Southeastern Lions football on Cox Sports Television.
If you talk on the phone as much as I... Hold on. Hello? Yeah. Can I call you back? Okay. Singular has a plan. Mom? Hi. No way. Yeah. As I was saying.
At Singular, get our best deal ever. 1,000 nationwide anytime minutes, including rollover. Just $39.99. Hurry in and get a new Motorola camera phone.
I call it my... I gotta take this plan.
Come in to find out how Singular fits you best.
You want to be there for your family. We understand. Your State Farm agent is there with life insurance options to help you protect your family's financial future. For life insurance, call your State Farm agent today.
In Chalmette, see your good neighbor, State Farm agent Ed Moby Schaumburg, for your insurance needs.
They put the ball into play just a little bit early, and on first and second down, the Bears ran it and now face 3rd and 4 after short pickups both times. They're running out of time. We have just gone under the 4-minute mark. And the Bears look in no hurry to throw that football. Christensen on 3rd down will take the deep drop and wants it long to Vincent Jackson. Jackson incomplete. It looked like he was going to catch that ball in stride, and I think someone got a hand in there and knocked it away on a fine defensive play.
Well, I think it shocked him it got there, because the ball hit him right in the chest. He just dropped back and slung it as far as he could, and
this is a good throw by Christensen.
Oh, it's a beautiful throw. Watch.
Now he's got Jackson there, and that ball is stripped. That's a fine play. That's a fine defensive play by Duke Adams, the 5'10 sophomore from Hammond High School. Good play. That'll force the Bears to punt it away, trailing 26-13 with 3:43. We're going to give you some stats on Put Huron. He has had a whale of a game. He ought to be somebody's defensive player of the week. Chad Harder with the punt, and the Lions will have it and probably try to eat clock to wrap this one up. The numbers on Damian Put Huron: 9 solo tackles, 3 assists, 12 total tackles.
Oh, he's had an unbelievable
He's got 5
game.
sacks in this game, so we've counted them correctly. 5 sacks for 23 yards in losses.
Tell you what, he made make a run for the National Defensive Player of the Year, or the week, I mean.
He
Hey,
could.
5 sacks in a game, you don't see that too often. And Ray Perkins, 13 carries, 110 yards. He's not having a bad night considering he had, what, 13 yards in the first half?
Well, remember, though, all 72 of those came on one run.
That's
and
okay.
They've got to get him in that. That's not bad, but you'd like to see that spread out just a little bit more and then get the run. Right now, the Lions are going to try to eat some clock, which is stopped with 3:24. And it looks like the Bears have called the timeout. So Northern Colorado has a timeout on the field with 3:24 to play, 26-13 Southeastern. Let's keep it right here. And just want to remind you that we are back on Cox Sports Television on Halloween when Alcorn State travels to Strawberry Stadium. They'll take on the Lions. That game on Saturday night, October the 30th, replayed on Cox Sports Television on Sunday, October the 31st, Halloween at 1:30 p.m. Join us then. That'll be our final Southeastern television broadcast of the season. And we certainly want to take the opportunity to thank Athletic Director Frank Pergolesi, the president of Southeastern Louisiana University, Dr. Randy Moffitt, and the radio voice of the Southeastern Lions, Tommy Chrysan, for their efforts in organizing these television broadcasts. They did it just to get the old quarterback, Charlie Hebert, on the air.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
They wanted to see you return to the booth or maybe start a television career to go along with that golf cart business.
Well,
you need a golf cart. Charlie Hebert is the guy to see. And they customize them, right?
That's right. We
saw one that you had a little direct dish TV on it. Something up there, so sad because a guy couldn't get cable to his car. So that's the only way he could do it. So he trying to get cable. He couldn't get the cable long enough to get the games out there, man. They put a satellite dish.
And that's a serious tailgater when they put a 17-inch drop-down screen TV in their golf cart with a.
And they want you to run a cable to it. You can't do it. So. The Lions are trying to eat some time right here. Hal Mummy with the team around him. There's timeout on the field. We'll take one right here. 3:09 to play. 26-13. Lions in the lead. You're watching Southeastern football on Cox Sports Television.
You know, Volkswagens are built for the Autobahn. Oh, yeah. The Jet is built to perform at higher speeds, so it's solid. Yeah, solid. Really holds the road. We might want to... next one's fine. Yeah, so let's just... Getting hungry?
Want to find out what makes a Volkswagen a Volkswagen? Come drive it. You'll get it.
LHC Group, representing a network of 70-plus healthcare facilities throughout Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas, is helping people all across the region with a dedicated, high-quality medical staff. LHC Group offers home care, rehabilitation and long-term acute care, hospice, private duty nursing, and Lifeline. Whether it is about our patients, our employees, or our partners, here at LHC Group, it is all about helping people.
Now the Lions put the ball into play, and they'll keep it on the ground as Ray Perkins gets a few. Charlie Hebert, the color commentator, who played football here as a quarterback for Southeastern for 3 years back in the 80s, right before they dropped football. It had pretty good effect you had on the program there.
Yeah.
Now runs Cart Dynamics, and if you need a golf cart, Charlie and his partner, Robbie Miller, they will customize your golf cart. Let's see, you customize, I've seen a great-looking Southeastern golf cart,
right,
and an LSU golf cart, and a Tulane golf cart, and a Saints golf cart. So these people who like to tailgate, if you want to make the rounds with your favorite team and you don't want to walk, or if you're not in shape and you want to ride your golf cart around, this guy can set you up and have a lot of fun with it.
They are a lot of fun. Kids love them. The grandparents love them riding around the yard. But
let's talk about the Southeastern Lions for a moment, because this one, save any crazy plays, Looks like it could be tucked away if the defense lives up to what they're billing in the second half, and they have been, and to do what they've been doing up to this point in the second half on 4th down 3. Jim Hall in to punt it away. We'll take a look ahead. This would put the Lions, if they hold on, and we may be speaking a little too early here with 3:06 to play. But I'm looking at a conservative offense as Hall will punt it away from Jackson, not let him run it. And the Lions try to down it at the 1-yard line, but they can't.
Yeah,
Touchback
it'd
bring
be
it
a
out to the
tall
20.
order. It'd be a tall order for this one to change direction with 2:58. At least the way they've been running their offense in the last 10 minutes.
Well, I said earlier, Mercyhurst coming in next week on the 16th. And then after that, an open week, and then Alcorn State here. So 2 more home games before the Lions have to go to Jacksonville, Florida. Texas College comes home, and then they go to Gardner-Webb. So they have a chance, if they play up to their ability, to run the table. But again, in 1AA, you also have a chance to get beat any game along the way.
Well, that's true. And,
And there's a toss complete to Wilson out of the backfield. He dropped it, incomplete. Incomplete. Coming back to the line of scrimmage. Charlie?
Yeah, but, talking about the season, I mean, hey, ball bounces a couple of ways. We could be undefeated right now. We just didn't show up for Sam Houston and didn't play very well. But Texas State, we played bad and still was in it to the last play. So
remember this, though. People are getting a good look at Hal Mummy's offense, and they're figuring out some things to do to stop it. One is ball control. Try to control the ball as much as possible, and there's a good hit from behind. And the ball goes down to the turf. That should be an incomplete pass. I think his hand was coming forward. Jay Fendelson in on the rush, and a good solid hit from the defensive end spot. Take a look at it again, though.
Yeah. One of the refs didn't make a signal, so. I don't know. That was close. That looked like a fumble to me.
It'll be 3rd down. 3rd and long, 3rd and 10. So Mercyhurst next week right here in Strawberry Stadium. Christensen dropping back, rushes on, screen left. Wilson has a little bit of room, has the first down by a yard, maybe. Good run that time by Andre Wilson. Skidmore on the stop. The 6'2 sophomore from East Ascension High School and Gonzales.
It's just obvious when you watch the game. Southeastern's just blessed with a lot more speed than Northern Colorado. They just can't seem to get around the corner or get deep.
It's first down. Christensen in trouble, and he's dropped after he gets back to the line of scrimmage and falls forward for maybe a yard. Dirk McGee. Northern Colorado after this game will be hosting Florida Atlantic. Then they go to Sam Houston State, host Southern Utah, go to Cal Poly, and close their season out at home against South Dakota State. And they're tough at home. You were given those stats earlier. They don't lose too often over there.
They are, but Florida Atlantic beat Texas State tonight, so Florida Atlantic must have a pretty good ball club because, of course, we played Texas State last week, or a week before last, and lost that game in double overtime.
Christensen on the drop, had plenty of time, but the protection finally breaks down, and he goes down in the arms of Bud Huron, who gets his 6th sack of the night.
Well, I'll tell you what, somebody needs to make a call to the AP and tell him what he did tonight, because I'm going to tell you what, he has had one whale of a game.
Bud Huron, bunch of solo tackles. Gave you about 9 earlier, and he's had at least 1 or 2 more since then, but 6 sacks to go on top of it. Sack leader on this team as Wilson takes it up the middle. Final 90 seconds of play, under a minute 30, and the clock ticking. Solo tackles now at 10. 13 total tackles, 10 solos, and 6 sacks for 29 yards in lost yardage. Well, and he also had a fumble recovery, didn't he? give him a pass breakup. Under that jersey is a blue T-shirt with a big red S on it.
Tonight for sure.
Putz Superman Huron. He has played so well. 1:02, and the clock is stopped. There is timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout. 26-13. Lions in the lead. You're watching Southeastern football on Cox Sports Television.
You want to be there for your family. We understand. Your State Farm agent is there with life insurance options to help you protect your family's financial future. For life insurance, call your State Farm agent today.
In Bogalusa, see your good neighbor, State Farm agent Lance Roller, for your insurance needs.
In Tangipahoa Parish, one picture is worth 1,000 words. Tangipahoa Parish, we have it all. Come see us soon.
It'll be 4th down and 1 for the Northern Colorado Bears. We have 1:02 to play. Southeastern stopped the clock again just to talk things over. And that gives us the opportunity to remind you that coming up at 10 p.m. tonight is Cox Sports Television's College Football Tonight. You'll get a recap of all the Gulf South games that you care about. Join Victor Howell and Brian Kinchin right here on Cox Sports Television at 10 p.m. tonight and find out some stuff about college football today and tonight that you didn't know but would want to know. Christensen gets whacked as he throws it long, and it is caught by Vincent Jackson, who went up over a defender to make the catch. That was a great catch by Vincent Jackson, who I believe outdueled Pittman for it.
He just he threw the ball as far as he could. I didn't see the catch, so
tonight is a
he just he broke on the ball.
Record.
Well, we just got word that the 6 sacks by Put Huron tonight is a new 1AA record. Congratulations, Damian Put Huron. 6 sacks, a 1AA record in college football.
Well, we knew something special was happening, and we just didn't know all the records out there. But I know one thing: I've enjoyed watching him play tonight.
Well, we have a little stoppage on the field because I believe that's the quarterback, Tony Christensen. And he got hit so hard as he threw that football. I'm not sure if we can see that again, but he was whacked as he threw it and gets help coming off the field. He's played a good game tonight. Christensen has some good numbers. This is not a deep football program. They were pretty good last year. Their defense was ranked nationally in the country. They lost half of their defensive players last year, lost 6 of their defensive players. Christensen, 7 for 23, 153 yards, 1 touchdown to Vincent Jackson. Did not throw an interception, but he's been sacked a total of 8 times in this game by the hard-rushing Woody Woodenhofer 3-4 defense. Now, the old Woodman, he can put a defense together. He's been around.
Well, yeah.
He's got those 4 Super Bowl rings. Showing what he did with the steel curtain defense back when old Terry Bradshaw was playing on the offensive side of the football out there. There's a completion on the far side. Now, you see they're throwing again to Vincent Jackson, and you have to ask yourself, where was that earlier in the year? And I'll tell you where it was. It was there, but Jackson wasn't that open.
Right.
And you've got to credit the DBs for the Lions for really taking him out of the game a whole lot early on.
When you're putting the heat on the quarterback,
yeah.
Of course, being sacked 8 times,
Hager, the backup
he
quarterback,
just doesn't have time to get the ball to him.
Nick Hager, the 6-foot, 180-pound junior from Fort Collins. That was his 8th pass thrown on the year. And Hager will toss this one into the end zone. Picked off at the goal line. Returned. Dirk McGee.
Boy, he saw that end zone. He wanted that end zone.
He was moving for it. Watch it again.
Thank you for attending tonight's game at Strawberry Stadium. Next home game is October.
Yeah, he just threw it short, and
the 16th.
He took off. I know his eyes got as big as saucers.
Looks like a lot of green in front of him, a lot of open space. Burke McGee on the run. That's his second interception on the year. And they had to cut his legs out from under him to stop him. He was on the move. 14 seconds to play in this one. As the Lions have the icing on the cake, Martin Hankins will take a knee, and that should do it.
Give yourself a round of applause.
The teams will go out to shake hands at the middle of the field, as will the coaches. Coach O.K. Dalton of Northern Colorado and Coach Hal Mummy. We'll hold it right here and see if we can get some post-game comments from Hal Mummy. 26-13 Southeastern, a winner, upping the Lions' record to 4-2 on the year, and Northern Colorado falls to 1-5, with again 3 of their losses coming against top 25 teams. And you know, for just one game, 1 week, the Lions were in the top 25, and they lose to the Lions tonight.
Well, they'll probably be back in the top 25 after tonight or our next win. But Southeastern has come a long ways in the last 2 years.
Burke McGee had a pretty good game. Besides that interception, 6 total tackles, 3 assists.
Yeah, he had
a pass breakup, a big pass breakup.
For the heat that was on him, you know, he did play a very good game.
And the defensive backs had a pretty big challenge. They had to take Vincent Jackson out of the game.
Right.
You take him out of the game, you got a chance to beat Northern Colorado.
Well, the defense has gotten better every week, Ken.
And notice too, though, as good as the defense played, 3 interceptions in the first half by Martin Hankins, no interceptions in the second half. Right, and that, when you don't turn the ball over and you don't make mistakes, you play your game, this offense is good enough that they can pull away from teams and win some football games. We're waiting to hear from Coach Hal Mummy, who has seen his team go up to 4-2 with the victory as the Bears fall to 1-5. This game played in a pretty steady and sometimes heavy rain at Strawberry Stadium throughout the evening. Mercyhurst coming up next for the Lions. That's next week. And then an open date to kind of rest and repair the wounds. And then Alcorn, which will be our next broadcast on October the 30th. That will not be a live broadcast. It'll be replayed on Sunday at 1:30 and Monday at 7 on Cox Sports Television. Then at Jacksonville, Texas College in the final home game of the year on November the 11th, and at Gardner-Webb. And just time to look at this program and say, wow, Frank Pergolesi, athletic director, Hal Mummy, head football coach. Guess what? You guys have done a fine job in bringing this football program back. You've overcome adversity each year. Here's some stats you're seeing on the screen. Rushing for the Bears, 116 yards, 210 yards rushing for the Lions. Passing yardage, 252 for the Lions, 184 for the Bears.
Good job, Coach.
And good to see on the interceptions, again, key. The 3 interceptions that the Bears got on Martin Hankins came in the first half, none in the second half when the Lions took care of the football. And the fumbles, that really hurt the Bears because 3 fumbles lost, 3 fumbles, 2 lost, had turned into a drive-stopping fumble the first time and the Southeastern field goal the second time. Time of possession is not correct on the screen because that doesn't even come close to adding up to a 60-minute game. And they did that in the first half, and it looked a little bit more like a little bit more even. It was within a minute, 2 minutes of each other. So Hal Mummy making his way to the camera, and we'll hear his post-game comments. And again, we want to thank his wife, June Mummy, for being a halftime guest on this homecoming day at Strawberry Stadium in Hammond, Louisiana. The coach probably not happy with the first half performance of his team's play last week or this week, and that might be the biggest thing that's got to change. Teams come out with a game plan, ball possession, take Felton Huggins out of the game.
Right.
And if they can do that, teams feel like they can play with Southeastern.
Right.
And that's what rather has to happen for Hal Mummy. That's what has to happen. They have to be ready for that in the first half because the Lions make great halftime adjustments and come out and play great football in the second half. You can see the coach. He's spent.
Defense looked great in the second half. What can you say about Damon here? His play? It was exceptional. Y'all really seem to keep Jackson in check. Hold on. Coach, defense really looked good in the second half. Really seemed to keep Jackson in check on the other team. And Damon Heron's play tonight just exceptional. What do you guys say about the defense and just the team in general?
Well, I think you probably said it all right there. It's just unbelievable. I mean, they really came out second half and played like they needed to. I love this game because we played both sides of the ball and special teams. We did some really good things all the way around. And like you said, Putt, you know, he'd have to be a player of the game, that's for sure.
Definitely. Well, thank you again, Coach. Congratulations on the win tonight. Have a good time. For Mark Verbois, I'm Cox Sports Television. I'm Mark Verbois, and have a good night.
Well, we want to congratulate Damian Putt Huron, the 6'1", 215-pound junior linebacker from Amite. 6 sacks tonight, a new 1AA record as Southeastern defeats Northern Colorado 26-13. This has been a production of the Southeastern Louisiana Athletic Department. Our director and producer was Alan Traylor. Graphics, Teddy Smith. Replay, Chris Horn. On cameras, Marty Campbell, Bert Carson, Jasmine Traylor, and Terry Marchand. The Red Hat was Barry Spears. Our spotters in the booth and statisticians, Sam Petito and Val Ruger. The athletic director at Southeastern, Frank Pergolisi, and the president, Dr. Randy Moffitt. And for our coordinator of these broadcasts, the radio voice, Tommy Chrysan, and for our expert color commentator, Charlie Hebert, I'm Ken Berthelot saying thanks for being with us, and we'll see you again on October the 30th when the Southeastern Lions take on Alcorn State. The final score, 26-13, Southeastern, a winner over Northern Colorado.